Hello and welcome back to another episode of the How Long to Beat podcast, a podcast made by members of the community for members of the community. My name is Matt and I'm with my friends Leah
Hello.
and Roy.
Yo, what's up?
Not with us today is Diallo, but that is fine. We will make do as always. Today we will be talking about the games that we've beaten, retired, and been playing recently. Before we go in our discussion topic this episode, which is going to be the grand genre of racing games, with the, I believe, first ever racing game having won Game of the Month in the forums recently, this past month, only seems appropriate to yap on about these vehicular experiences even more. So we'll just do a grand sweep of the entire genre and blabber about a couple questions we might have for each other and so on. Explore that enthusiasm that at least some of us have for this genre.
That's right.
And then after that, of course, we will play another round of the, as always, Untitled collection game to round it all off, and then we are all free of this burden.
Matt, I hate to
Yeah.
burst your bubble. I think at this point its title just is the collection game.
No, yeah, well, maybe the title is the Untitled collection game for flavor.
Yeah.
You're good.
That's my fault anyway. But yeah. So we will begin the first section of our podcast, which is the beaten category, where we talk about the games we've beaten recently. And so I don't just go on about things. I would like to ask my co-host Roy here to begin.
Fits because you can then lead off into this yourself.
Very true.
Which is to say, I was replaying Ridge Racer Type 4, the game of the month this month, because I've talked about this game on the podcast enough that people are probably not surprised. In fact, I think I talked about it last episode, as I remember.
Probably.
So a bunch
Yeah.
of this, because I was talking about my retro achievements, so I'm kind of repeating a little bit. This one thing I did is I was watching Matt's gameplay on YouTube of this game when he tried out the grip cars.
Mhm.
And I hadn't really tried the grip cars ever. Or maybe once. You know what I mean? Not much. I decided to give them more of a go. At first they're kind of funky to get used to because I think that when you see like the name grip car, your thought is that you don't, because they separate into drift and grip, and you think that they're not going to have drift. But that's really not actually accurate to how the cars are used. It's not that you don't have drift. It's that you just are choosing a different style of drift, effectively.
Yeah.
Where, the drift car is like let off the gas, crank the wheel. Then I always just use the method of getting the foot on the gas again. But I believe you can do like quick brake gas with drift cars. With grip cars, you're basically doing like a handbrake drift. You are not letting your finger off the gas, thumbing your brake. It decelerates you about 30 miles an hour, maybe more. Crank the wheel to turn, and then just keep accelerating out of it. So it's different style and feel, which is interesting.
I
Which
guess.
honestly, I think that's the only reason it probably is in the game. They just kind of wanted to emulate, because I believe the handbrake drift stuff is like an actual way people drift in real life.
Sure. Yeah.
So I think they kind of probably, in terms of what they were doing in the game, just kind of wanted to emulate that.
But it's not even like really animate as a drift. It's more like it's just magically able to get a tighter corner.
I mean, it's Ridge Racer. It's always been super arcadey and not particularly realistic.
Yeah.
So
I'm just saying that it's not really even looking like it's a drift. It's just the car.
It might not look like it, but it has like the feel of it.
Yeah, mechanically, it's it's pretty much.
That's more what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I unlocked all the extra cars before I had already done the Lizard Nightmare.
Yeah.
But this time I decided I'm gonna, probably in part spurred by retro achievements, but also just because after I unlocked the Wizard Nightmare, because the game has a bit of a weird save system, I actually had accidentally not saved it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, if I'm starting over anyway, I might as well just unlock all the cars, which I then did. I have not been the expert again because I haven't tried it, but I've gone to hard. I beat it. Did not have as much trouble as my first time for sure, but I think I restarted once because I got in a bit of a frustrating series of races where the way I timed everything, I kept running into this one car on the last lap, basically. And it would either just block me or I would hit it, and that would be enough to lose the first place, which I was gaining.
I hate other cars on my street. It sucks.
Yeah, that's the thing with Ridge Racer, especially Type 4, but it's true in all the Ridge Racers. The cars are really obstacles.
Yeah.
That's that's like the only reason Brightest Night is really difficult, I find, is just because you have those tunnel sections, and if you enter the tunnel section, there's another car with you. It's so difficult not to at least clip something.
Hmm.
And on expert that can just ruin a run. The other thing is, like I mentioned, I had retro achievements. You know, Ridge Racer Type 4 has time trials, and while Retro Achievements isn't a speedrunning website or anything major, they have a leaderboard for time trials.
Oh wow.
So I decided to play through a bunch of those. I think most of them, honestly, I just got a good time because I was using the oh god, it's a French word I can't pronounce. The little car with absurd acceleration. Esquirel?
I don't know.
Esquirel? I don't know. Um it's a very weird car. It only has one gear. It accelerates almost instantly, but it's just really difficult to control. And you can kind of just get good times on various races by just banging into walls and then accelerating off of
Oh,
it. But on certain other maps I either didn't use it or I just actually controlled it well. But I'm actually top 15 or higher in like multiple time trials on retro achievements right now.
dang.
So, that was cool. Aside from that, this is still, in my opinion, a really strong racing game, one of my favorites. It was cool just to see people getting into it and see a racing game win the game of the month because,
Yeah.
as we said, that hadn't really happened much. Uh, Not much new to say, and it was the only game I beat this month, so.
Yeah, I guess I'll take over and blabber about the same game a bit as well. Ridge Racer Type 4, which, to be fair, I also have talked about this in a previous episode where I said I had beaten it by playing through the normal difficulty.
I can't believe this is the How Long to Beat remaster.
Yeah, just repeating ourselves at this point. Um, but I've beaten it again, basically, on now hard difficulty, which I already had planned, and then spontaneously I also decided to do the expert difficulty. Hard difficulty I did on the grip car as well. That's what, yeah, Roy, you were talking about. You saw my video about that, where I played it, and yeah, grip cars are functionally the same, just with a little. They just look different the way they go around their corners, I guess. But yeah, functionally very similar. But it just doesn't feel right. I'm not sure if I've said this before on here or just on the Discord, but a Ridge Racer game has to have a proper drift where the car is sliding along like at an angle, or else it doesn't feel like Ridge Racer to me. Those grip cars are complete. Um, they unnecessary. They are unnecessary in my opinion. So when I played the expert difficulty as well, went straight back to the regular drift car. And I wonder
Yeah.
now because the expert difficulty campaign didn't really feel any harder than the hard difficulty campaign to me. And it might just be because I did play hard on the weird grip car with the weird grip car and then expert on
Maybe.
the more familiar drift car. That's probably just it. Or maybe the difficulty spike genuinely isn't that big between those two. But yeah, I was also considering playing on easy difficulty as well to just have all the difficulties one time through. But at this point, that seems like kind of a waste of time, I guess.
You can get through it in less than an hour.
Yeah,
Doesn't
it would
take
probably
long.
not take a long time. That's true. But I think I actually got my fill with the game now. I think I spent like 4
Yeah.
hours with it total. I was briefly looking at those manufacturer-based extra trials that you can do, but it's very clear to me that I do not own the cars required to even compete with
You
those
should.
one-on-one.
If you beat the Grand Prix, you do. You might need to go into the garage and select it, though. It's
No,
just you just
yeah,
use the
no.
shooting hoops car.
The shooting oops car doesn't seem like it's strong enough because when I went through the campaigns, I didn't always get first place and got the best upgrades or the new car. I always said like one of the lower ones.
You should definitely be good enough to get it even with like a lower end one. Like it's definitely doable.
I don't know. I was looking at the I think the lizard one it was, and the NPC driver just zoomed away from me. Even if I chose the strongest car in my garage, the NPC AI, the NPC enemy just left left
I
me
wonder
behind
if
immediately.
are you playing the European version? I almost wonder if there's a difference.
Uh couldn't tell you. No idea.
What you might want to make sure is you selected the right car from the garage.
Well, no, I did. But my understanding is if you get through a campaign being like first place in every race,
Yeah, you get a
other
better
than
car.
just, yeah, you
You
get a
get a
better
better
car. And I never
But
got the best car available through a
to give
campaign.
the idea, the difference, unless you just got like the last place every time, which you didn't, is only like 3 miles per hour per position or something. So if you got like 2 seconds,
Hmm.
it's like 6 miles per hour maybe.
I thought there was like more unique cars as well with those. Anyway, like,
You can get like a unique end car by like finishing high enough, but the uniqueness is just it has a different model while keeping like the
yeah.
same speed amount that it should be.
Hmm. Well, be it as it may, I got my fill for now.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I wanna say this is a game because it is a good racing game. I wanna say this is a game where I could see myself go back and do like more of the optional stuff. But then again, there's too many good racing games that, realistically speaking, I will probably be too busy with other stuff than actually going back to this one. So I'm just gonna say I enjoyed my time with the Tracer Type 4 and
Yeah.
move on. Yeah, it was a good month with this game.
And who knows, maybe now Gran Turismo 4 will win next month.
I yeah, I nominated
I,
that game, but let's be real. This community is not gonna make two racing games in a row win Game of the Month. That is
I
impossible.
I agree.
I beat Witch Racer Type 4 again and again. And I have two more games. One of which is another stinky mobile game that I pulled out one sleepless night, which is related to a previous game that I've talked about. In previous episodes, I talked about Data Wing, which was a mobile game that was recommended to
Oh,
me,
yeah.
and I like it has been eternally sleeping in my playing tab because I didn't really actually pick it up because I don't like to play on my phone. This game here that I'm talking about because I have beaten it called Skyward Journey is by the same developer. That's how I like found out about it. And Skyward Journey is a game about birds. You control the winds to guide a flock of birds to fly over grumpy looking people in the environment to make them happy or something. And then at the end of
Same.
each level, you get an assortment of written regrets from allegedly real people, like anonymously sent in regrets to the developer or something.
Oh, like
Um,
the Dirty Little Secrets website back in the day.
That's not where my mind was going, but sure. It was like shit like I'm
Like
so
kind
sad I
word.
never told you that I loved you, or like I'm so sorry that we ended in this fight, and that like the usual stuff. I regret that I never did this and this and now I'm old, that sort of thing. And
I
that's
regret
the
I never caught them
whole
all.
that's and that's the whole loop. You just have a couple levels where you guide these birds across these little dudes to make them happy, and at the end, you are rewarded with a bunch of regrets. And I guess it's supposed to make you think. The gameplay is very dull, and there's no really any stakes or challenge at all, unfortunately. And the regret part, I guess, is what's supposed to be the core of this experience to make you think about your own regrets, I guess, and maybe have some sort of preemptive effect that you start walking to not have as many regrets later on or whatever. Do what you're putting off right now and that sort of thing, I guess. But like, I guess
Inspiration.
yeah, that sort of thing. I guess noble idea or whatever, but it was a really, really limp execution. There was nothing about this game that like stuck with me. Like I'm gonna move on and never remember this. Probably it's not very interesting, unfortunately. But it had
But it had
birds,
birds, yeah.
so yeah, yeah.
I mean,
That's
that's
that.
what you need, right? Bird.
Yeah, that is what I need. That is the
That makes me
conclusion.
happy, so
Yeah, yeah. I wish the birds would have done more, though. Whatever. That's that. That's Skyward
they were
Journey.
too busy. They had to fly.
Yeah. I feel a bit bad because the Data Wing, the other game by the developer that I'm probably never gonna finish, is genuinely seems like a cool game. It's just stuck on the phone. And I'm probably never gonna beat that, but I did beat Skyward Journey, which is probably their weaker game. So I feel a bit that's my regret that I'm gonna add to this. I was actually hoping that this app at the end would like, I don't know, ask you about your regret and then put that in other
Oh.
Oh yeah,
people's
that'd be a good
experiences.
idea.
Yeah, I've seen other games do similar stuff like this. This app did
I've
not
played a
do
game like
that.
that.
Yeah. There's a PC game called The First Tree, which I was
Mm.
thinking about.
Mhm.
Yeah, that one
Yeah, that's
rules.
the one.
Yeah. Um yeah, but this is not that. So moving on to my third game that I beat. And here we're going into my German gaming for this episode. I did previously say that I kind of wanted to look into German video games more. Uh, and this is one of those results. I played a thing called Die drei Fragezeichen Bomben in Rocky Beach. As you can see, even here, there's English words in the title. Um, the English title of this game would probably be The Three Investigators Bombs in Rocky Beach. And this is a German developed game, but even this is set in the US. Funnily enough, it is all
What?
based. Okay, so here's the context, the background. There was in the 70s or something a children's book series, a mystery crime children's book series called The Three Investigators in the US, which had some attachments with Alfred Hitchcock and whatever. I'm not actually convinced that Hitchcock had like active hands in this production, but his name was always on the fucking cover and whatever, presented by Alfred Hitchcock and whatnot. And it's like one of those, the usual crime stories of a bunch of wannabe detective kids that just like go around their hometown and just solve mysteries, that sort of thing. There's plenty of those around. And probably because of that, the Three Investigators, from all I have learned over the years, was not a hit in the US. I think it was
Oh.
canceled after a couple of years in the US. But for some godforsaken reason, it is thriving in Germany, has for many decades, is still going on as one of the most popular like media franchises around here. I grew up with it. I see it still being producing stuff, original German only stuff, new books, new movies, new whatever in this originally American franchise. It's a very strange thing, I feel. But this is a series that I grew up with. I read the books, I listened to the audio dramas and whatnot, and every now and then I like to dabble in some of that stuff still for some lighthearted entertainment. And this video game here is a point and click adventure game that came out for this series. Um, though it is not one of the more recent ones, this one came out in like 2004 or whatever. I actually remember having this on a physical disc at some point, but never spending more than like 20 minutes with it because I did not give a shit about a point and click adventure game. And um, I struggled through this experience now, partially to have a German video game to have played or whatever, and partially to also have this old title that I once owned but never actually played beaten properly. But I like looking back, like this game is just not great. I did actually make the right decision when I was younger and not actually stuck with it. This is probably one of the most rigid, clunky, tedious point-and-click adventure games I have ever played. Like the presentation is fine or whatever. You control the three boys, the three protagonists, as they solve a mystery about some stranger planting bombs in cars in Rocky Beach. Uh, it's okay. The writing is okay. The presentation is good. It's fine. But the way that you control stuff, the way that you solve puzzles, the way that you progress, is so clunky and nebulous and annoying. Most of the time, I was stuck, not because I was thinking very hard about a particularly difficult puzzle or whatever. It was just really difficult to understand when something is triggered to be interactable and what sequence the game wants you to do something and whatnot. Just like these technical annoyances throughout this entire game. So you could probably beat this in 5 minutes, and I spent, I think, 2 hours or something. I had to look up hints online. Thankfully, there was one other German dude
Oh my
on
god.
YouTube who posted a let's play like 2 years ago or whatever. So
That's always such a vibe when like you find a game and you're just desperately hoping there's like one dude who put up a guide to
Yeah.
tell him,
yeah,
thank you, random German dude on YouTube.
Yeah. That's always my fear with like very niche games where I'm like, please, somebody help me out.
yeah.
Right?
No,
Like I don't want
yeah,
to
I
be
was
stuck in the
very
90s again.
yeah, exactly. You know, I was very lucky with that other guy. I probably wouldn't have beaten this game if I didn't have those hints because I would have just been too frustrated. Uh, yeah, if anybody out there was for some reason considering playing this old, obscure free investigators game that I think is only available in German, forget about it. So if you needed that warning, here it is. um, there are more modern games in this franchise that I kind of wanna. I have at least one of them in my backlog, and I have like more hopes of them being more streamlined and more, yeah, modern in a sense that it is not as nebulous and frustrating. But I noticed after playing this one, they are put out by the same publisher, and uh, sure, there like 2 decades went by, but it's still the same publisher. So I'm kind of like cautious with if the quality might actually be different or not. But whatever. That is my free beaten games. Now let us move on
There
to
you
the
go.
retired and pause section, which surprise surprise is just me. Um, so I blabber on. I continue to blabber on, though this one is quick. I kind of already talked about this. The only game that I now finally officially retired after being stuck in my playing tab for so long is Data Wing, the game that I already talked about a couple of minutes ago with Skyward Journey. Again, I genuinely believe Data Wing is cool. I would have beaten this a long time ago if it wasn't stuck on my phone. I do not like playing with touch screen controls, especially when it is a like a racing game where you know the nuances and the reaction time are like crucial. This just doesn't feel right. Um, so it's unfortunate, but I just have to look the truth in the eyes and just put Data Wing away. Um, and with that, we can immediately move on to what we're actually playing right now. And it looks like we got some more variety in this section. So, Leah, how about you tell us a little bit
Oh,
about the games you've been spending time with?
I haven't had much time to be playing anything recently. So basically all my dailies are still happening. Wordle, Myrtle, um, Where's My Seat? Also, the only one of my mobile games that I've opened up recently has been that one. I play like two levels of that, and then I'm just like, all right, I need to get up and do things. Um, Still playing Yoshi's Island with the randomizer, which has been a struggle because I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but the randomizer started me off with like 60 lives, and I am down to 2.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
didn't realize how hard this game could possibly be when not everything in the level is there, and you just like you're used to playing the game with 100% of the level there, and I'm like, oh yeah, then I just jump on here. That form isn't here now. So yeah, so that it's been a struggle. And my last game is again playing NHL 22, still doing the pro track and doing the NHL ones just to get some action after my pro is just sucking completely from time to time, or like it just sometimes it's like I have to sim through a bunch of games just because I'm like I don't want to play these games, and then it's just me just watching the screen simulating half the season. So I'm like, this isn't fun for me to look at. So I'm like, I'm gonna go actually play a game that will make me play the game. And that's what's so fun about the NHL ones, because it's like nobody on the ice is your teammate. Everyone who has the puck that isn't you can score against you. So it's like in the complete opposite direction, where instead of just watching the game happen because your player is on the bench, it's like, no, you have to have the puck or you're going to lose. So I did some of that this morning. And that's it. That's all I've been playing. Hopefully either I retire or I beat this Yoshi's Island, and then I can move on to some of the PlayStation games that I've had stuck on my playing tab
that
for
could
the
be fun.
longest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta get back to Spyro.
Yeah.
Very
Spyro, I
fun.
gotta get to God of War, and
Oh,
I've got
yeah.
a few other PlayStation games that I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna start this one, and then just sat there.
Yeah.
Next podcast, I'll probably just clear out a lot of my playing tab and just be like, I've uninstalled all of these games. Goodbye.
The big
Uh-huh.
purge. Yeah.
Yeah, I need one of those for sure.
It's actually funny, between Spyro and Ridge Racer, we've had two of those like PlayStation-y Sony games in a row. I guess I'll go next for playing, because most of mine is pretty standard. I got Wordle. I got Slay the Spire 2, like I said. Expect to see a bunch of that here.
Yeah.
Tabletop Simulator, the usual stuff. Now, Civ 4, it's also some usual stuff, but I want to say something that's not... It's game related, but admittedly it's not me playing the game. But it is something I was doing yesterday and woke up at 8 a.m. for. There's this guy called Sulla. It's like the Roman leader, but he has an extra L in the name. And he was a prominent player in like Civ 3, Civ 4. He did beta testing and actually helped develop Civ 4. And he has a long-running website with like editorials and gameplay and whatever. And gotta be over 10 years ago at this point, maybe just exactly 10. He did something that he called AI Survivor, where he just put like each game would have 6 to 7 computers in a game, and they would just play each other, and people would watch like he was actually playing. And it's actually shockingly interesting to see what happens when the AI is just playing itself and there's no player involvement. So I've tried to check that out every year it happens, because I have a lot of fun with it. But the relevant part to what I was doing is that they actually run a little fantasy football like draft, where you draft the leaders you think would do good in like an auction draft. I got to join in this year, and it was pretty fun. I didn't get the exact team I wanted, but I think I got a pretty solid one. So in addition to the kind of picking contest they're doing, I'm in that. I do recommend, if you like 4X games or just fucking around and seeing AI do stuff or whatever. Not like dumb open AI bullshit, but like video game artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Like it's a good time. It's fun.
So what world leader do you have your money on?
I think I ended up with what, 7 or 8 of them.
Oh damn.
Let me see. I got Louis the 14th, because I think in that game, even though Hanya Kapak is in it, he's like one of the big favorite guys. I don't like his position. I think Louis gonna get it. I wanted to also get Tokugawa, but someone else took him. I got
Of course.
Alexander the Great.
How great is he really? Yeah.
He's very up and down. He either kills everybody or he dies very quickly. Burns bright or burns out kind of guy.
Alexander the Glass Cannon.
Exactly. I got Churchill. I didn't actually want Churchill. I was just trying to bid him up. But he's not a terrible choice. Just I think the map isn't great for him. I got Wayne Khan from Korea, who there's a bit of a joke because he's messed with a lot of games in like weird ways. including one time where, due to weird quirks in the turn build order and exact, like, down to the tile of the one guy not being able to win, he screwed up like the entire prediction bracket by winning and taking out Sula's winner. He lost 5 points for it. I
A
got
wild card.
Bismarck, I got the Gaul. Yeah, the
Bismarck.
Troll King, as they're called. I got Bismarck, I got the Gaul, and I got Zarya Cobb. That was the last one. Kind of went for a bit of a wider rather than taller strategy, I suppose, but
Well, I hope the world events are ever in your favor.
yeah, that's kind of all I have. This might be the fastest we're gonna ever have gotten through being played retired.
Yeah, could definitely be in there. Yeah, I got 3 games that I've actively been playing since last time. One of them being Gran Turismo 4, which we actually have mentioned already in this episode. If you're listening to this, I guess it's too late. If you're a time traveler, please vote for Gran Turismo 4 for the game of the month. Yeah, no, if this episode is out, that's already too late, unfortunately. But I'm still on that. It's a slow burner. I mean, this is a big game anyway, but it's also just I'm not playing that much. But this is, I guess, the casual game that I throw on the most when I have my podcast on or whatever. And then it's like a couple hours of doing nonsense driving with cars that I like, but that are not actually efficient, which makes it all even slower. I don't remember if I already mentioned this in the last episode, but I realized the DeLorean is in this game. I think I mentioned this in the last episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, the car from Back to the Future, blah blah. It's one of the 5 cars that I do recognize, and I like that thing, and I'm so on that stupid car right now. I put a disgusting amount of in-game money to tune up this car as much as I can to make it even viable in most races. And even still, it is kind of playing on hard mode, it feels like, but it's fun to use this stupid, inefficient movie prop car basically in these serious simulated fucking professional races. It's like I love this clash of things, and I've been overusing this car in like every event that it is eligible for a while now. I actually love how dirty it dries compared to what the game would probably expect you to use in these races. But I'm being a real dick on the road with this thing, just crashing into people, just having the dirtiest drifts and whatever. It's fun. Um, and I've there's the way the campaign is structured in this thing. You have a lot of like freedom of where you want to go, with a whole map of different racing events spread out that you can basically enter whenever you want in almost whatever sequence you want. You just have the requirements fulfilled that each event needs to be eligible in it. Um, so I've been jumping around a lot in there, but there is specifically 3 groups of events that are called the beginner events, the professional events, and the extreme events or whatever. So they are like some of the more obvious progress paths through this campaign. And I did recently actually complete all of the beginner events, and I'm now, making my way through the professional events, the next step. So at least there is some feasible progress there, despite my DeLorean bullshittery. But I'm probably gonna have to go back to more serious cars for more serious races, because the DeLorean is also not really eligible for a lot of events because it's such a special, unique car, whatever.
Aw.
Yeah. So I'm probably gonna have to use a lot more of the Subaru Impreza soon, but that thing will probably need a lot of tuning after all of this progress, and I've spent all my money on DeLorean, so I'm probably gonna have to do some, extra shit to like actually get back on track. But that's that's the fun in having a big old game with all of these real like car manufacturers, where you can actually like do stupid things like the DeLorean stuff. and whatnot. It's one of the joys of Gran Turismo. Still a great game. Fun stuff. I'm probably gonna be having this on here for months to come. Honestly.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So again, if you're a time traveler, please vote for this in Game of the Month.
I
will
mean, even if they're not a time traveler, they can vote it for the next game of the
yeah,
month.
actually, that is right. I was about to say that as well. Anyway, that is Gran Turismo 4. Another game I'm still playing that I already mentioned the previous game is We Were Here Forever, the final game in the asymmetric co-op puzzle series We Were Here that I'm playing with my co-op buddy. Not much new to say here, but we are pretty amazed. Previously, I think I said that it's clear that this game has a bit of a bigger budget, probably a bit of a bigger production um, effort behind it. It's also longer than the others and whatnot. Blah blah. It's more polished. And previously, we've been both my friend and I been pretty a little bit impressed at how big the environments are that we are put in. It's not just like one room each that we have to figure out the puzzles by talking with each other, but it's pretty open environments that we are both being put in now to walk around and really do our things, which is uh just one of the signs of how this one is truly like the finale of the series trying to do a bigger thing, which is not much more to say about that one, though. The first game, a fresh one on my playing tab, is probably the end point, or definitely a highlight in my continuing journey for the fluffiest casual cozy game bullshit. Because I got myself a little game called Tracks, the train set game, which is literally just a digital version of playing with a like wooden train set in your
Oh my
fucking
God.
bedroom. It is it's awesome. I stumbled over this on Steam like a couple months ago or whatever, but it seemed like the right game to start up recently to just have a no thoughts, no stakes gaming experience, which this is exactly what it is. You literally, first and foremost, this game is obviously meant to be a toy box experience without any like goals or whatever. You just have an environment of your choice that could be like an open thing to build your own diorama or whatever, but you could also have like a living room or like a children's bedroom or whatever, and then you have all the freedom you could want to just build a fucking train line, a track system through this room, over the couches and under the bed and whatever the fuck, and
Oh,
and
this is
put
like Hot
stations
Wheels.
here and there. Hot Wheels, excuse me.
Like with the tracks that you can just like build tracks all over the house and stuff.
I guess. I guess so. Um,
Where are the Hot Wheels trains, Matt?
You can make
it's
stations.
a good
Oh my
question.
God.
Yeah. It is very much something that I did in real life as a kid, so I guess there's definitely some nostalgia here that made me wanna play this and whatnot. Um, and it's like fine or whatever. Though I do believe I need more than like a free roam toy box. There is a little like tiny sort of campaign thing for the living room environment where they have, suddenly there are passengers waiting on the dining table or whatever. Please build a track that goes from the couch to the dining table and
Oh my
then
God.
have them a station, which is neat. It's really all you need to have something to do so you
Yeah.
don't have to come up with shit yourself. So you know
Yeah.
what to do. It's fine. Sometimes they do things with a timer, which is weird. Like here the passengers in this corner of the room, you have, I don't know, 90 seconds or whatever to connect this part of the room with the main station. And it's like, first off, why? Second off, I could never do it in time. It's just the whole UI and whatever is just not built for fast building, I feel. So it seems really like a clash of ideas. And third of all, there's literally no consequence if the time runs out. There's nothing, and you can
Oh,
just keep going. It doesn't matter. And I
are
don't
there
also don't
achievements?
think see, yeah, okay, achievements could be a thing, but other than that, I don't think there are any in-game rewards or whatever. You
Hmm.
have, from what I can tell, all the things available from the get-go. It doesn't seem like there's like any unlockable parts or whatever. It's just an open toy box. There are some DLC elements that you could buy, I think, but again, nothing progress related or whatever. So this little campaign, which you could probably play in like an hour or whatever. That's what I'm kind of been crawling through. Um, and it's again, it's fine. It gives you something to do, but it's also not very exciting or anything challenging or whatever. And like in a way, it does make me want this game with like a more thought through campaign or whatever. But I guess it is what it is. It's a digital version of fucking regressing to childhood, lying on your floor and playing with fucking wooden trains. It's fine. Uh, it
I'm
really feels
I'm
like,
watching
yeah,
I'm watching the like gameplay of like the little people walking up to the station and then getting on the train and then getting off
yeah,
the
yeah.
train. It's beautiful. I love it. I'm astounded by this game. I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty alright. Um,
Well,
but
maybe we'll see Mia playing it in the future.
yeah,
Definitely will. I don't know if I can afford it right now, but
There you
yeah,
go.
I will definitely. This is definitely going on my wish list.
heck yeah. It could use more environments. I think it only has like 2 or 3 rooms, which is a bit of a shame. But I guess the focus is really on people that just want to create their entire own diorama kind of thing, like the whole environment or whatever. While I'm just what tickles my brain is having the train tracks go around furniture and whatever. It's just the childhood thing, I think. There's really nothing more. This feels like some prime cozy casual gaming slop or whatever, but it's sometimes that is
Not even slop. This seems
no
pretty. Like the
slop.
quality is
Yeah, no,
very.
the quality
Slop
is
is a
fine.
variable term.
Yeah, I'm speaking of slop more as a concept, not as its actual
Oh
quality, that sort of thing.
yeah,
When people say friend swap, they're using slop
yeah,
very
Yeah,
yeah.
differently from saying AI swap. You know what I mean?
yeah. It's not like a
You might say that the term itself is sloppy.
yeah, yeah. You're completely right about that. It's not a high
Classic swap
concept
swap.
thing, that sort of thing. But yeah, that's the 3 games that I've been actively playing. There's other games on my playing tab that I've just not been getting to in the last 2 weeks, so I'm not gonna mention them here. Which that is, yeah, that's our 3 first sections that we always go through, which leads us into the discussion topic. Straight up racing through this, you could say, which is fitting because we're talking about racing games today. The whole lot, the entire genre. We will talk about every single racing game in the world right now.
We had to get through the being retired play quickly so we could race to this section.
Exactly, exactly. That was the plan the whole time. Okay, so racing games.
Racing.
First and foremost, before we even dive deeper into more granular stuff, I think, here's one of the biggest questions among racing gamers. Where are you on the spectrum of simulation racing games and arcade racing games? Where do you find yourself most of the time? It says a lot about your personality.
I would say here's the
Does
thing.
it? Oh
Now we just gotta really think about it.
no, I know that I'm very much arcadey. I only want simulation if I'm playing Gran Turismo. After that, like make it as fantasy as possible. I don't care.
So I definitely would say, like, if you look at the racing games I've been in, you're gonna find a lot of stuff that trends more towards arcadey. Partially because I've played a lot of kart racers and Nintendo stuff.
Yeah.
But I do really enjoy what people would call simcade games. Stuff like
Mm,
NASCAR Thunder 2003 and 4, where it is simulating something real, but it's not like, and like, you have like, you adjust your downforce and tire pressure and whatever, but it's not like necessarily like iRacing, for example,
yeah.
which is like a really crazy simulation kind of stuff. It's a bit more casual and accessible. I would say I enjoyed those games quite a lot. Like, I would say right now, although I've debated it, like NASCAR Thunder 2003 or 2004 is my favorite racing kind of thing. So I do really enjoy that kind of simcade feel. I
Mm.
feel like with more simulation racing games or like Gran Turismo kind of game, I'm really interested in them, but I've always felt a bit intimidated, maybe, I guess,
Yeah.
thinking that's going to be
Yeah.
really difficult to penetrate into and play. Honestly, I've gotten more interest in actually trying one of the Gran Turismos because Matt, who at least from the outside to me is much more of an arcade racing guy, has kind
Mhm.
of gone into Gran Turismo 4 without really much difficulty, which makes me think I'm probably just overthinking things. But Turismo was already on my like most wanted to play games, like my dream game bucket list or whatever.
Yeah, it's you say I struck you more as an arcade gamer, and yeah, I probably am more on that side than the other. I do have to say though, I can very clearly notice as I get older that I used to be in the strong arcade section, and I sneaked closer and closer to the simulation bit. I'm still not all the way over there, and probably never will be. But I am appreciating that a lot more than I used to. There's a lot of
Yeah,
like gimmick stuff in the arcade racing. A lot of the kart racing power up stuff is something that like barely appeals to me these days, and I do actually prefer um, a more focused racing experience with it, which is a lot of times more in the simcade environment, I guess, which you mentioned already. But I do have to say though, I do vividly remember being at a childhood friend's house, and the guy had Gran Turismo 1, and we played it, but I did not give a shit about the game. I just enjoyed watching the epic replay videos or whatever. I just tried to do like cool stunts and whatnot, which is not easy to do in a Gran Turismo game. Um,
right.
but I did eventually pick Gran Turismo up again as an adult, like 5, 6 years ago, emulating the PlayStation 1 game. And that was truly sort of a breakthrough point, I wanna say. Like you said, I'm often intimidated by games that tout themselves as simulation racing. Of course, it's a bit debatable for a PlayStation 1 game, but Gran Turismo did try to be a simulation game at least.
Consider it one.
Yeah.
Maybe a primitive one, but it's
Yeah.
still one.
Yeah, exactly. So I was actually back then, I was intimidated by it and was like, I think I mentioned this before, like shocked and surprised that it actually really drew me in, and I was able to care about this and get into this enough to beat it. Um, Again, the same thing with Gran Turismo 4, which is, of course, being a couple generations, well, one console generation removed, um, much more intense in that sense, but still surprisingly manageable. I do have a note sheet of like I looked at a note sheet that people recommended with like a couple basic things that I just have in mind, but I'm not really having to look stuff up or whatever. I do have to say though, there's always gonna be something about simulation games because I also don't care about cars in real life, which I have ranted about plenty of times. When they don't give me the graphs, the fucking grip and speed, acceleration graphs or whatever, and they just say horsepower and fucking torque
And you're like,
and
what the
fucking
fuck is this shit?
yeah, what the fuck are you saying? Which is Gran Turismo through and through. They are only giving you the real fucking numbers of these real cars and whatnot, which that can be annoying, but even that honestly has so far never been as much of a barrier as I would have thought. So I definitely do recommend giving these a try, even if there's this intimidation. Uh,
Right?
And sometimes I do flirt with the idea of having a physical wheel and pedal rig on my desk. That would actually rule sometimes, especially if you could get that with haptic feedback on the wheel.
It's time for
Um,
the Wii wheel, baby.
You know that no, that Wii wheel is ass. I don't want that. But
I
there
didn't
is
say it was good. I
something.
said it was time.
But there's something that maybe the only thing that I like about true arcade machines is that the racing wheel can have like feedback. If you crash into something,
Yeah.
it actually pushes back and whatever.
Mm.
That would be such a luxury to have at home, but good luck having the moolah and the space to purchase and set something like that up in your home
Yeah.
space. I don't have that, so that's probably never gonna happen. Um, and it's not gonna be useful for most of the racing games that I play, which is just like some stupid anti-grav racing bullshit or whatever. So
Yeah.
doesn't
I
really
mean, well, you
matter.
never know. Maybe you could get one of them iRacing wheels, hook it up to F-Zero GX. Boom, baby.
That sounds like a nightmare. I feel like that would like break your hands if you crash against something. Yeah,
Imagine how fast you have to react to everything.
that would be crazy. But yeah, no, yeah, I definitely see myself moving from one side to the other with this.
I
Okay,
I
yeah,
kind of wonder if part of that is age, in the sense that I feel like arcade racers. I haven't. I will say, I've tried and played a lot of racing games, but if you compare me to like an actual racing expert, I'm sure I've played many less racing games than you, for example. I'm very confident in that.
I don't know.
I'm definitely less like. I'm confident, at least in the fact that it seems like you've played a lot. But the point I'm making is that I feel like a lot of arcade racers are very direct, I guess is how I put it. Using Ridge Racer as an example, it's a pretty basic racing game where you have to master like a drift kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, I played like Daytona USA. That's a pretty basic arcade racing game. I feel like there's the possibility that as you get older and you play more and more arcade racing games, you find difficulty in finding something new and exciting, I suppose. And
Mm-hmm.
it becomes easier because you have more experience. So the challenge and maybe some of the different ways you can do stuff in like a simulation racer, subconsciously even maybe, becomes a bit more appealing. Something to that effect.
Could definitely be in there. I do believe for me the most prominent reasons are probably that I'm getting sick or no, getting sick seems a bit dramatic, but I'm less and less interested in a lot of the more popular gimmicks in arcade racing games, and also I do really appreciate a weight to the vehicle, which is not there with a lot of
Right.
a lot of the arcade games. I think it's more like
Yeah.
these two things that push me along, but
Have
your
you?
theory is good too.
I was about to say, have you tried it? I'm pretty sure. Have you tried like Sega Rally Championship and stuff?
It's on my backlog. That's the rally. I mean, we're gonna talk about rally racing, I guess, later on as well. But rally is a subgenre I've only just started to explore in the past couple of years. That one is on
Well,
my backlog.
I played Sega Rally Championship, the first one. I definitely didn't think it was as much for me as other arcade games, but part of why I bring it up is I do feel cars in that game do have like that sense of weight you were talking about, at least in the sense of being like 1994 arcade game anyway.
Okay,
So that could be
yeah.
something you're interested in.
See, I think that's actually I feel like a good transition and a good point. Okay, so we
Yeah.
do have a list. Little look behind the curtain. We have a list of like little subgenres that we would go through. Well, racing is one of them, so why not actually use this and go there? I'm
So there's a problem
completely
with that,
with you
for
there.
me at
Yeah.
least.
Oh,
I haven't really played more than maybe one or two rally games,
it's
so I'm
fine.
not gonna
Yeah.
have a lot to say here.
But I do believe you're completely right. I do think rally games, again, I've only been exploring them, starting to explore them in the past couple of years, but they are definitely, they strike me as like a pretty good transition point between arcade and simulation.
Yeah, I can buy it.
They usually do have the heaviness to the car. There is an emphasis on having control over your car in a
Right.
difficult environment and whatever. And of course, these rally games are usually not set in a fantasy world or whatever. They are usually very much placed in a real world because that is an essential part of this style of racing. So I do actually
Although I do
believe,
want to just say, I
yeah.
would actually love a rally game that just use environments from like a major game series or that were like really intensely crafted from a fantasy world. Like if you gave me Final Fantasy Rally Championship or
Mhm.
whatever and
Yeah,
put me
yeah,
on the
yeah.
streets of Midgar, like actually making it look like that, I would be so
Yeah.
fucking down.
Yeah, I would be there too, but I don't think the audience is big enough for that to
No, sadly.
warrant that niche thing. But I feel like rally games are popping off pretty hard in the indie scene lately, and there's a bunch of like funkier, like funnier ones that like do rally games in parking lots and whatever, and like strange environments that don't
Yeah.
usually go for rally games. So there might be something cooking in that regard somewhere.
Yeah. I did notice you played like a few of the rally games that are like indie rally games recently. I'm trying to remember the one that you were playing
Yeah, old
that
school
you did
rally
like
was the
Old School
recent
Rally.
one.
That's it.
Yeah, that should
And
rule.
that game I thought looked really cool actually.
Yeah,
I haven't purchased it yet, but I did put it on my wish list after watching you play it. And I will say, personally, the thing it immediately made me think of is that it gives me a lot of energy of like the Sega Rally Championship kind of thing. Even some
yeah,
of the like environments in a way.
yeah. That one was especially modeled after Colin McRae Rally, which looks like 90% the same from what I've seen. But like
Yeah, that's
it,
right.
yeah, it's definitely a general inspiration from all of these retro rally games for sure. That's a popular aesthetic right now, I think.
Yeah. I think one reason rally games hit that kind of balance you were talking about is because I'm just thinking about like the design of racing games actually for a moment to get it because I kind of gotta say that to get into what I'm saying. I feel like there's about 3 or 4 different schools of like racing design thought. The first
Hmm.
is just like the very video game side, like it's just video game developers and they just want to make like a Mario Kart, an F-Zero. It's more about making a fun video game experience, right?
Yeah,
Mm, yeah.
And then I think there's a lot of people like this happened with like Rally Championship, and it happened with Ridge Racer because Ridge Racer got created because of people watching, and I think 1 or 2 of the people actually enjoy doing that kind of racing. People who actually enjoy the racing and they want to get the feel of racing into people's hands. You know what I mean?
hmm,
So even as much as the fun video game factor. It's about like, oh, you can put this into a game. It's gonna feel all cool. It's gonna be emulating. I think rally games, because of their nature as primarily off-road experiences,
yeah.
are tend to trend a bit more towards like your time trial arcadey thing. And then stuff like Gran Turismo, which kind of finds more basis in like true racing kind of stuff, is gonna trend more towards like a true simulation.
Yeah, but I mean, it is funny though because the rally genre is, at least in the more modern um, industry, there's big emphasis on emulating the different environments of the dirt and the different weather effects and whatever. Like that's a big part of that as
Yeah,
well. So there is still very much a focus on simulation aspects.
I mean, to give you an idea, when I talked about Sega Rally Championship, every surface has different friction in that game. They
Mm,
had
yeah,
they do that stuff even in that one.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So it's like even the old school games, they really like doing that.
yeah. Yeah, it truly does feel like rally games are like weird in between. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've wanted to try more. I feel like the only thing I'll say about rally games, this could be just Sega Rally Championship, but I feel like at least in some other ones where I've looked up long plays and stuff, I feel like a lot of them don't take advantage of the actual rally format, and then it just kind of ends up feeling like a time trial, I guess, if that makes sense.
You have to actually clue me in here because I don't actually know what the format is of real life rally races.
So, like, a real life rally is, I'm thinking of how to put it. So, in a real life rally, it's about reaching a bunch of waypoints. Funny enough, it kind of is like a video game. You have to hit checkpoints in a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, a lot of times, what a rally will be is like, so like you play a NASCAR game or you play like a traditional racing game. You're on a racetrack or something, right? And you're even if it's like a non-oval like Ridge Racer, it's a racetrack.
Mhm.
Usually, a rally game is one continuous course that is like you start in one place, go to another, and maybe there's even like different environments kind of thing, like
Yeah,
going
yeah.
from sand to grass and stuff. I feel like various rally games I've seen kind of treat it a bit more like a more traditional race, in the sense there's not like a continuity of like one part of the track, like one part of the rally to another.
They definitely do have A to B races. I haven't seen a rally game with, circular tracks or whatever. So at least that's there.
Yeah, definitely. What I mean is more like, I feel like it'd be cool if there was a rally game where like you have the quote unquote tracks, or like you have the difficulty levels, and it just like continuously goes from one to another without like a loading
Right,
screen and
okay.
stuff like that.
I see.
Like
Yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
like a true rally where you are just like a lot of rallies are done on like city streets, right? Like a rally where you go through like a whole city, and like each enough checkpoints are like, instead of, oh, I hit this checkpoint, it loads a new street. It's like you hit this checkpoint, you are at this point after the first race, and then you're just still driving through to the next race and the next one continuously. Because that's
Right.
kind of like what a rally itself is.
Yeah, I think to a degree that definitely exists, and maybe the more professionally focused ones get
Yeah.
more into that. But I haven't like actually played too many of those. I've been mostly in the retro bullshit so far,
Right,
at
right.
least. Yeah. Okay, before we move on to another subgenre, I actually at least want to ask Leah, do you have any experience with rally games, rally racing?
Not really. Like the closest thing possibly to rally racing from my NES days. So like
On
I
NES,
haven't really,
really?
yeah.
An NES rally game would be interesting. Yeah.
I can't think of anything that I've played more recently that would be considered rally racing. Like I tend to just stay to the big names in racing.
hmm
Gran
So,
Turismo and Need for Speed and stuff like that. So
kart racing games. How about them, eh? How do we feel about
I
kart racing?
I enjoy kart racing games a lot. I feel like most kart racing games are great party games with friends is the key thing.
Sure.
And I do love having those kind of games, because I will hop on voice chat with people and just play with 3-4 people. You know, there. I feel like definitely there. I think one thing with kart racing games is this: when they're bad, they tend to be really bad.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I feel like it's hard to have a mediocre kart racer. Not that it's impossible, but I feel like a lot of kart racers are either strong or bad.
Mm-mm.
No, I
I've
disagree.
played a lot of mediocre kart racing games.
The thing is, I think a lot of the ones that you might call mediocre, I might call bad, is the thing.
Yeah, true. Yeah, possible.
I am big into Mario Kart. I've played a lot of Mario Kart. I missed some of the key entries in the series because I just didn't have the systems or the money.
Yeah.
But
Same.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
played Mario Kart pretty much every single one that there was. But my thing when it comes to kart games, it's kind of like, you know how when you're young and you see like a Disney movie version of a fairy tale, and then you see like the non-Disney version of that fairy tale,
Yeah.
and you're just like, this isn't the real version. Disney version's the real version.
Oh.
Like that's how
Yeah.
my mind feels with kart racing. Like
Huh.
I'm so used to all the items in Mario Kart and knowing what they
Right.
do and how the tracks work and everything, that when I play another kart racing game, I'm like, I don't know what these items do. And like, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. And it's like, it throws me off, where it's like, Mario Kart is like the only kart racing that I'm like, I know how to play this game. This is great.
Hmm.
And like every other one, I'm like, how am I supposed to know what anything does? So
It's supposed to be the same.
I also honestly feel like a lot of kart racing games just rip off Mario power-ups.
Yeah.
but
Oh,
tweaked
yeah.
just
Yeah.
enough that they don't feel the same and are worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could
But a
see
lot
that.
of the
That's
time,
fair.
like, I don't know what the icons represent. Like, it'll just show up as a
Right.
rocket, and I'm like, this could be something that I shoot at somebody, like a shell, or it could be something like a mushroom that pushes me forward. I don't know until I hit it. So it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah. But isn't that exploration part of the fun?
Uh, it can
yeah,
be.
like I feel like the learning curve of a kart racing game is a lot higher than like a regular racing game. A racing game, you just go
Interesting.
forward and you turn at some point. That's it. That's all
Yeah,
you really need to
yeah.
know.
That's fair.
So
That's fair.
I mean, while
Go
we
on.
are still on Mario Kart specifically, I do want to hear everybody's favorite Mario Kart and least favorite Mario Kart.
Favorite Mario Kart Double Dash.
yeah.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is probably, I will say, the better game in terms of pure quality, especially with
Hmm.
all the stuff it has. But I prefer the feel of Double Dash, and I will admit there's also the nostalgia factor. It
Mhm.
and Mario Kart 64 are the two I grew up with, and I really preferred Double Dash. It still, to this day, has multiple unique mechanics no other Mario Kart has in terms of
Yeah.
Yeah.
both the way the double items work, but also the character specific items that I loved and I always wish would come back because it's just a cool concept and actually makes choosing the driver meaningful when in most Mario
Yeah.
Karts it's really not.
That's honestly the fact that they upped the game with the strategy in Double Dash was like my favorite part of Double Dash. Where like every
Yeah.
other game,
Mhm.
it's like, do you want a light racer or do you want a heavy racer? And that's basically all the strategy you had.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, like my favorite thing was like pair up Yoshi with like Toad or something. So it was like multiples of eggs or whatever. And it was just like, okay, great. Like this is how I play this game every damn time.
Yeah. I want to say I had like Toadette or Toad along with the red shell Koopa to get the golden mushroom plus triple
Yeah.
shells.
Yeah.
But it was always also really fun to do like Bowser because his unique item just could be so crazy. Like one thing about Double Dash, because there's so many unique items, you get like really crazy game states compared to a lot of other Mario Kart games, in my opinion, with like giant bananas and shit.
The item manipulation in Double Dash does definitely sound leagues more interesting than the regular purely random item stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
and
I,
since you can swap the characters, you can like Leah was saying, either double on one unique or swap it around, and that adds
Yeah.
like a layer of how you want to hit item boxes even.
Yeah.
right. Yes, you gotta play that one. My favorite was
Yeah.
always the Nintendo DS one. The content in that was always king. There was so much to do there. So many. I think that's the maybe the more recent Switch games beat that, but I think Nintendo DS Mario Kart was the one with the most tracks for a long time.
Yeah, it was the one with the most for a while, but has been being now.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
also one a lot of people consider one of the favorites.
Yeah, it's dope as heck. The
Yeah. But
worst one, I would probably have to say, the original SNES one did not age very well, or maybe the arcade version, which I
Yeah.
emulated once, and it was not fantastic.
mine is Super Mario Kart.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
ages badly. The one thing I'll give it, and one reason I don't put it even lower on some of my list, is that it was kind of like a very early kart racer. There weren't exactly a lot of kart racing games
Yeah.
back then. It was innovative. You know, it was on the SNES trying to do like semi 3D kind of stuff. Not really, it's just Mode 7, but you know what
Mode
I mean.
7, dude, Mode 7 rules though.
It does rule, but you get what I mean. It's not
Yeah.
I'm trying to make sure I'm not like saying too much. But like so you know, there was only so much they could do with the tracks, all that kind of stuff, but it didn't have to feel like ass,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Unfortunate.
know. And people, I'm sure you could argue like the GBA game because it has like the same game
Yeah.
feel, but like I
No,
think there
I
is a
will
certain
always
charm
defend that one. That
to,
one is fun.
yeah, and I think there's a charm to try to have you on the go. You know, maybe
Yeah.
not as much nowadays as people might think, but especially at the time.
Yeah.
And it did also basically just include Super Mario Kart on it, so it kind of is just better in some ways.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that is true. Yeah. It is my second favorite out of all the ones I played, but I understand the hate towards that one.
But
Um,
wait, what is your least favorite then?
my
Oh,
my
the
favorite.
GBA one. Here's what you're talking about. Sorry.
Yeah, GBA is my second favorite. Yeah, Nintendo
Yeah,
DS is my
I
favorite.
got
Yeah.
I got my wires confused on which one we were talking about.
Oh,
Sorry.
you know what? No, hold on. My least favorite is not the Super Nintendo one. My least favorite is Mario Kart 7 on the 3DS. That was the
Ooh,
blandest fucking forgettable shit I've ever played in that series. Like I
I,
genuinely disliked how mediocre that was.
that's a spicy take, but I do
Is
think the
it?
fact that I would say Mario Kart 7's like pretty popular. But
Dog.
one thing I would say is I think the fact Mario Kart 7 and most people just got replaced by Mario Kart 8 does speak to the
Yeah,
blandness of it, because 8's
yeah,
just kind of doing everything 7 is, but way better.
yeah. It feels like a throwaway, like a filler game in the
We
series.
need a 3DS Mario Kart.
At this point,
Yeah.
or even then, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I guess at the time, yeah.
At the time, yeah.
Every single console needs a Mario
Okay,
Kart.
so those are the plumber racing games. Though, okay,
Duh.
what other kart racing games have we actually tried? Because I do,
Well,
I for
Diddy Kong
one,
Racing.
yeah,
right.
Diddy Kong Racing.
But I for one am
MC
a
and Sky.
strong believer that the Sonic racing games are the more interesting kart racing games, the more fun
Sadly,
kart
I
racing
own
games.
those, but I haven't played them.
Yeah, I love
Please.
those so much. And
Um,
I gotta real quick give a shout out to Super Indie Cards, which has been in early access for close to 12 years at this point, but it still fucking rules, and one day it will be complete.
SMH, you're not shouting out Shady Weed Cart.
Shady Loot Card, of course, is also very interesting.
Lego Racers isn't really a
Oh,
kart game, but is a
yeah.
kart game. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Like,
see,
technically they're not carts, but it has every single trapping of
all
a
right,
kart race.
Roy. I've been hating on Lego Racers 1 in the past. I'm a Lego Racers 2 truther, but
Yeah.
I will give it to you now that we're talking about kart racing games in general. I will give it to you that Lego Racers 1 has one of the best power-up systems I've ever seen in
Yes.
kart racing games. That
It's
is
crazy that the
yeah.
only two games I can think of that use that are Lego Racers and Diddy Kong Racing. And Lego Racers does it
Oh,
better.
Diddy Kong Racing does it too. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's not the same though. It kind of just powers it up. It doesn't like change them the same way as the thing. So it's kind of lamer. Or at least as I
Okay.
recall. Admittedly, I've never been a big Diddy Kong Racing guy. So I'm biased in advance. But Diddy Kong Racing does have like the same gimmick.
It's cool. Yeah, I wish that is something that I always wished more racing games would try. Lego
It's
Racers 2
right
could
for
have
like an
used that as
indie
well.
card game to do it.
Yeah. One day, surely one day, some nostalgic motherfucker is gonna do a Lego Racers inspired thing with that system. I hope.
Hey, if I ever
hope.
go into game development, I guess there's somewhere I can start.
Yeah. Leah, so you said that all the other kart racing games just kind of feel off. What have you tried? I'm curious.
The Crash Bandicoot? What I don't remember the one
Oh,
that was
yeah.
on
Crash Team Racing
PlayStation.
and stuff.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean I like Diddy Kong Racing, but we never got another Diddy Kong Racing, so it
It's true.
kind of is hard
Yeah.
to compare that with all of the Mario Karts over the years.
Yeah.
I've also played Nightmare Kart and
Oh,
a few other
yeah.
from
Yeah,
like
I want to play that one, but I just haven't gotten to it.
Oh, that's so good. That's probably one of the most innovative kart racing games out there.
yeah, some of them are fun, but yeah, after playing like a race or two, I'm always just like I could just go play Mario Kart. So then I just
Fucking
do
hell.
that.
I do think that is kind of the curse of racing games. Mario
Yeah.
Kart is so polished and well done. It's so easy to think, but I could just play Mario Kart where all my
Okay,
friends already have
sure.
Mario Kart.
You know what sucks about kart racing games though? It's the power-ups. I hate the power-ups in kart racing games.
Yeah, they're not great.
I don't know. I enjoy it. As long as I'm not taking it too seriously.
See, I always appreciate kart racing games that gives me the option to play without power-ups. I remember
Like
uh
Mario Kart 8.
is that so? How do you
Mhm.
mean?
I know in the multiplayer you can just turn off all the items.
Oh, no, I mean, but like the best ones,
I'm
have
not sure if you
like
can in the single player, but you might. I'm now curious.
the best ones have like strategic like elements though, where you can like choose for example, a vehicle that has much higher top speed or whatever than the others in exchange for not being able to use power-ups or something like that.
Yeah,
That sort of thing
great.
I love. And I know the most recent Sonic Racing one has, perks and stuff where you can dabble in that realm. And I think, man, I wish I could remember. I'm sure I played another kart racing game that has legit that where there was a legitimate strategy throughout the game where you could bank on not using any power-ups and getting like perks for it in exchange. But I cannot remember what it was. God damn it. But I want to see more shit like that because the kart racing environment, the goofy, colorful, chaotic explosion shit is neat. Just I want to have the choice of not being bound to the randomized power-ups. I don't like that.
What about when we finally get a simulation kart racer?
Yeah.
Simulate real life kart racing.
That would be
You
a
gotta build your
mess and a
car
nightmare.
first.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah. I mean, Lego racers.
Yeah.
You gotta
Yeah,
build
that's
it.
true.
True.
It would be actually really cool to have like a crafting mechanic in game where like you have to start off and like build the cart yourself from like wood planks and stuff like that, and then like upgrade as you go along. But like the whole time your racer is like an 8-year-old kid or something, or
I
you're
mean,
just
that
like
actually sounds
racing.
like it fucking rules.
There is definitely a game where you do build your car properly throughout the races. I'm not sure what it was called though. Isn't it this Make Way racing
Make
game or
way.
something?
Make way.
I might be misremembering it, but that sort of game definitely exists somewhere on Steam where you do actually build the car and
I mean, it's
improve it and
Steam, so I'm
whatnot.
pretty sure every game exists in some capacity.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Questions the quality of its existence.
Make
If I
way
remember
just looks
correctly,
like the train game, but it's the Hot Wheels version.
Oh, make ways. You're building the track.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that's where I mixed it up. But there's definitely another game with the car building.
Yeah.
I
I
swear.
also want this.
I'm not making this up. Okay, I guess that is.
The one thing I was gonna say,
Yeah.
right before me and Leah
Yeah.
talked at the same time, I was gonna say Lego could probably make so much money if they just made like a legitimate Lego Racers 3 that wasn't just microtransaction hell like Lego Drive was or whatever.
2K Lego Drive or whatever. Yeah, that it was a really cool game, but yeah, it was bogged down by all the transactions. It's a shame.
Yeah,
Man.
because you can do so much
Yeah.
with like Lego figure customization and cart customization.
Yeah.
You could, because there's so many building blocks. There's so much room for,
Yeah.
I mean, fuck. Imagine if there was a Minecraft race.
Oh gosh. Oh no. No, no,
The
no.
building. You could do crazy, dude. But imagine you could destroy the track as you go, or build it up, and also like build your cart.
Sure, yeah. I think that 2K Drive game is still worth it if you grab like a catch-all DLC pack at like a super steep sale price or whatever. The game itself
Yeah,
is pretty cool. I've spent a lot of time in the car building editor in that game.
yeah, which is a good sign for a Lego game.
Yeah. But nothing will be
Anyway.
Lego Racers 2.
I mean, there's Lego Racers 1 though.
No.
The great viewers, which side of the debate are you on? Lego Racers 1 or Lego Racers 2?
All right, I guess that's it for kart racing, I would say.
Yeah, I
How
can't
about
really think of anything off the top of my head.
Okay, how about we go I think this one's going to be a quick one. How about we go into the anti-graph racing subgenre? Because I have a feeling. Okay, no, I'm going to ask you, what anti-graph racing games have you played? What are your thoughts on the
So the funny thing
subgenre?
is, I'm pretty confident I've played more of those than rally games
Oh, okay, that's
because
cool.
I've played multiple F-Zero games. I
Right.
played Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, and
Yes,
Kirby Air Ride is an anti-grav.
that's true.
And Kirby Air
All of
Ride, I think,
those.
is a particularly interesting anti-grav.
Hmm. I would
You
say
go,
my
you can
list
go.
is almost the same, except instead of Kirby Air Rides, it's Wipeout.
Yeah,
Oh,
Wipeout.
what the fuck? How did I not remember or know that you played Wipeout? That rules. Fuck yeah.
Matt realizes that way more people in this have played anti-grav races than he realized.
Why are we not talking
Well,
about Wipeout more? Come on, that rules.
because they won't make a new one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunate. Yeah.
So I'm gonna start the anti-grav racing segment with what I think most people would consider a hot take. I'm gonna
Uh-oh.
say it.
Uh-oh.
F-Zero X is the best F-Zero game, not GX. I prefer F-Zero X.
So X was the 64 one, right?
N64.
And GX is GameCube. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? I would like to hear your take
So
expanded.
one big reason is this. I love F-Zero X's vibes, especially
Yeah.
the art. Very strong. The art feels like the quintessential comic book energy
Yeah.
that it is going for, in my opinion. I think F-Zero GX has much more, complete visuals, could stop fancy, it's on the GameCube, but sometimes it looks too clean, I think. I think F-Zero X had like a grit to it that I really enjoyed.
I
And
could
I
see
don't know
that, yeah.
why, but I've just always enjoyed the feel of F-Zero X a bit more. F-Zero GX always felt maybe a bit more slippery, I suppose. But F-Zero X, I felt like I had more control over my racer. Granted, at this point, it's been many years since I've played either of them, to be clear.
Yeah.
So I am kind of having to think about it some. GX has the more complex racetracks, but F-Zero X did still meet a nice balance of still having, not being like Super Mario Kart while the tracks are the same, while maybe being a bit more focused, I suppose. But I do really think that was the vibes that really changed, that really pushed X over the top to me. I just really like the art and vibes. I just remember being really impressed by how it felt, how it sounded.
GX and the Japan exclusive Game Boy Advance game are the only two F-Zero games I haven't played yet. I
Dude, come
have
on, play GX.
I will, but it's like it's the last 3D F-Zero that I have available. I don't want to just like waste it, you know what I
Truly
mean?
the right moment.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
have though. I
When they announce the
once
new F-Zero, then there'll be time.
Yeah.
sure, that will definitely happen. I did, however, import physically from Japan the soundtrack CD for
Oh,
GX,
that's
and I
cool.
listened to that a lot as a teenager. So that's all I can say about that. That the soundtrack on that rules, but I do also agree. I get why you might prefer the aesthetics of X. X is a vibe for fucking sure.
Yeah. Kirby Air Ride, I think, is interesting, especially in this kind of subgenre breakdown, because it feels very different from a lot of anti-gravs I've played, and also it just includes other genres of racing in it,
Yeah,
because it
it's
has the background mode and stuff.
yeah, definitely a mishmash.
Yeah, which I think is cool. That's very Kirby, because Kirby's not always, but has had many games that have that kind of different, game and sub-game and all that mishmash kind of energy.
Yeah, yeah.
Sea Trial obviously is like the main event to me.
Yeah.
But
That's what it's remembered for, basically.
Sea Trial is funny because I could play it by myself because I didn't have people I could invite over for.
Oh, yeah.
So, the single player City Trial. I feel like City Trial has like, this is maybe gonna sound weird, it has like a liminal space energy to like how the first one is developed that's interesting.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
could see that, I honestly, that's something I wondered before, if that's one of the major reasons why it's so fondly remembered. Honestly, yeah, that definitely
Yeah,
fits.
because it's got like the ripped up kind of, there's a lot of different elements to it because it has like volcano area, city area, whatever. But I
Yeah,
remember honestly just having a lot of fun just driving around and exploring the space and energy of it and that kind of liminal vibe.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
The actual racing part of it, I've never been like super high on. It's enjoyable, but like I'm not gonna go too far on just the actual race parts of Kirby Air Ride,
Yeah.
the original, to be clear.
I want to hear about Wipeout though.
Yes, yes. There's a wipeout.
I have to grab this chance. Because when the fuck is this ever gonna show up again? So you
I mean,
said you
multiple
beat.
times.
See? So you
I
said
didn't
you
beat
beat.
Wipeout. I've played it.
Oh, see, that doesn't
I've played
count.
it. You heard differently.
Yeah. So you're talking about the original, the very first one.
Whichever was the one that was on PlayStation 20s,
The
2097.
2049. Yeah, that's the second
Yeah.
one. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that if you're gonna play one Wipeout, it's not a bad thing to have that be the one. And you
Is it the
didn't.
one on PlayStation, the original? Or the one that's
There's
just called Wipeout?
yeah. Both of them are on PlayStation 1.
Alright.
Yeah. And I beat both of them, and I'm very proud of that because they are not that easy.
I thought the first Wipeout was Saturn only.
No, it's
No,
also on
it came
PS1.
to the PS1.
Oh.
This is interesting, though. Genuine question, I guess. You said with the Mario Kart stuff, when you play other kart games, it feels off. The power-up systems are confusing or not satisfying. The power-up system in Wipeout is very special, though, especially because all the symbols for the power-ups like are basically digital runes that don't explain anything to you.
Right. Yeah.
What are your feelings about those?
It's not a kart racer.
It kinda is, though.
But the thing is that like I feel like in kart racing the items are kind of more integral to the race,
Mhm.
whereas like in other games if you use an item like it it's especially like a game where you can't fly off the track like in our kart racing game, like pressing like if you're playing a kart racing game and you press something that's a boost and you're like right at the edge of the track, you're going to fly off the track and then you lose like 3 spaces in your ranking or
And
whatever.
then you're right back in.
Right.
But then
Well,
like Wipeout, like if you press something and you don't know what it is, like it's not going to hinder you that much. Like I feel like the items in kart racing tend to be like you have to know what they are and when to use them, or you're gonna like lose that race.
They tend to be very high impact items in a lot of positions too.
I
Yeah.
guess in Wipeout though, you are like a core element of Wipeout is that you are very vulnerable and can explode pretty quickly. So I do think there's still a lot of margin for error of
I
the
mean,
power-ups.
most of those anti-grav ones are like that though. That was
Yeah,
sort of my
right.
favorite
Yeah.
part of F-Zero was just watching the flames when your car.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, F-Zero had a live system.
Yeah.
It's true.
Not a lot of racing games got that.
Yeah.
I mean, Wipeout kind of has that as well. Retry, limited retry stuff. Yeah.
Like I said, not many. Doesn't
Yeah,
mean
yeah,
that none.
So
I mean, I do have Wipeout on my wish list. I should actually try some out at some point.
it's honestly genuinely like the Wipeout 1 and 2, which are the ones I played in the series, are some of the games that I most frequently think about, think back on,
Yeah.
and it just really, really stuck with me. I was for so long, for so many years, a F-Zero purist and whatever. I always rambled about F-Zero. I mean, I still do and whatnot. But playing Wipeout finally a couple years ago. I guess at this point it's more than a couple of years ago. Playing that kind of like opened something up, made me
Yeah,
realize something that there's so much more, I guess, and
perspective.
such a different vibe that still fucking rules. And at this point, I genuinely prefer F-Zero in the 2D Mode 7 space, but when it comes to 3D, I honestly actually think Wipeout is even cooler. It is so
All right.
fucking dope. Yeah.
So why have you played more than just the two?
Yeah, that's the big question. I don't know. I don't know, man. I really should. I
Yeah,
constantly
maybe
feel like I'm
maybe you
just
should use one of your emulations this year on it.
yeah, my limited emulations. I actually think there's a pretty good chance that one of those is gonna be a Wipeout game, honestly.
All right,
But
that'd be
it
cool.
but that's also the thing with racing games. So many of them out there. I got so many on my backlog. If I want to play one of them, there's also like 10 others that I want to play and have to choose from. And so it's like,
But sometimes you just gotta be like, all right, I'm doing. I like
yeah,
Wipeout, and I haven't played a new one of the Wipeouts in a long time. Just I gotta lock in and say, hey, I gotta pick a Wipeout at some point.
yeah, I think
Like
it's probably
sometimes that's what you
gonna
gotta do.
happen at some point this year. But right now, Gran Turismo 4 is that lock in that has
Right,
been slumbering in the backlog
which
for
makes
very
sense.
long. Yeah.
I actually own Wipeout Pure in real life, I believe,
Isn't that
but
the
haven't played it. PSP one.
PSP? Yeah.
I think I mentioned before. My uncle got a
Oh yeah,
PSP with a bunch of random games from his friends, and then
Oh
gave it
yeah.
to me, and
true.
just I haven't really played it much. But maybe I'll be a little Nintendo gremlin, and start with Wipeout 64.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I might join you if you do that.
I mean, I'm gonna say this: I've wanted to play some games with you for a while and do some.
Right.
So maybe that's the one. I would definitely be down to start Wipeout 64, and also you play Wipeout 64.
Yeah. I mean,
So
I kind of try to not have two games of the same genre at the same time, and Gran Turismo 4 is gonna be filling that slot for a while. But I
I
think if
mean,
you do end up playing that, I would follow.
the way I see it, sometimes I don't know
Be a
if you
good New
think of it
Game
this way.
Plus.
New Game Plus, yeah.
Yeah.
Or I'm just a guest on Matt's stream, I suppose.
Sure.
I mean, I legitimately thought about asking that when it was Racer Type 4 to get you to play expert until you did.
All right. Yeah.
But you know, uh fuck, I was just about to say something. Oh, now I remember. What it'll do is, I don't know if you're the kind of person who follows this. If I have things where I'm like, oh, I won't play X or won't play Y, I usually don't count games I'm playing with other people. Partially because it can be so
Oh.
unreliable to play it consistently.
Yeah.
So, like, if I'm already in RPG, I'll be willing to start one with someone else, even if I may not be willing to start one by myself.
Yeah, I
Because
could see the argument, yeah.
I know I'm probably gonna play it like maybe once a week, depending on the person or whatever. So it's not gonna really interrupt my other playing time.
We'll see what happens, yeah.
I do need to shout out Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, which is getting a new one. But I'll say this, I actually didn't really care much for that game when I played it back in the day.
Oh, shut
I
up. It rules.
The vibes rule. And that's one reason I gave it an above average score. I never really enjoyed the gameplay much.
No,
I think I maybe played it too young. I just crashed a bunch and never really got anywhere.
yeah, okay. When I played this for like 20 minutes at a childhood friend's house, that happened to me as well. But when I actually got it on Steam as an adult and played through the whole thing properly,
Right.
it was one of my favorite fucking racing experiences ever. That
I'm,
shit
I'm, gonna,
rules.
I'm gonna bet I played it probably when I was 10 or 11. Now, I
Mhm.
probably played it, I would say, for hours.
Mm.
Because, again, the vibes, and also, especially as a kid, not especially as a kid, I guess. But I am the kind of person, if there's a game where I just keep crashing and stuff, unless I'm crashing because it just is ass to control, I feel like it's a challenge. I want to try and overcome it, kind of thing.
Yeah. That seems
So I was
healthy.
like, I'll beat it. And then I just never did. And I'm like, all right, well, guess I'm
I
putting this game
do
down. played
mean, I
on
do.
N64, which still works for me. So
Yeah, and I do have to say, I don't think it's like that easy of a game. It has a hell of a
it's
challenge.
considered to be quite hard.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting if the new one comes out and keeps the difficulty or becomes easy baby mode.
I'm sure that has difficulty modes at that point. Like, to choose
You know
from.
what I mean? The default difficulty.
Right. Yeah, that might be baby mode.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. Okay, I guess that's anti-grav racing. Where do we want to go next? How about street racing? I have heard
Not
Need for
really sure
Speed
I've played
earlier,
much
so
about that,
oh,
admittedly.
interesting.
I've
I feel like
wanted to play stuff. I tried to play Need for Speed and my fucking computer couldn't run it, kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Does F1 count because they do race in streets, but it's formal? I don't think so.
I'm talking about illegal street racing, the cool and edgy kinds, the 2000s.
Does
kind.
Burnout
It seems
count?
Burnout, yeah, I would. Yeah, Burnout does count definitely.
I did play San Francisco Rush 2049. That's a street
Jesus
racer.
fucking Christ. Sure. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, does it count?
I think so. I'll count it.
I'm not
But what
gonna
about-
lie though. When it came to San Francisco Rush 2049, I mostly didn't play the street racing. I just went to the stunt arena and just
Oh.
tried to see how high I could rack the score up.
Christ almighty. Well, I played Hooters fucking Road Trip. That's street racing as well.
Yeah.
No, what? Like, I.
He was like,
there's-
yeah, sure, that's how we're starting off, sure.
But there's a thing I feel.
Quality.
Yeah. I feel like street racing is. This is maybe just my fucking thing and not actually true. But it feels to me like street racing is like the kind of racing subgenre that most people have experience with. Everybody has played Need for Speed and shit. It feels.
Yeah.
I like how you
Midnight Club.
said that, and like the first thing is us being like, or at least me being like, yeah, I haven't really played it.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised.
I'll tell you exactly why I feel that is.
Yeah.
So when I was most able to buy consoles and games was like the N64 GameCube era. And I didn't have a PlayStation, I didn't have an Xbox.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of the street racing games were on Nintendo consoles. And then
Yeah.
when I either wasn't buying games or got back into it, street racing had kind of just been reduced to Need for Speed and didn't have a lot of new games. So I missed the prime era to get street racing games because of when I was purchasing games or had the consoles that had them.
Yeah, that could be it. Is street racing not alive anymore outside of Need for Speed? It feels like that was everywhere for a while.
Sadly, it's kind of like there's Need for Speed. There's like
sad.
one other one. But like I think street racing games are pretty dead right now. Well, I think right now, outside of the indie sphere, it's generally not a good time for racing games in general, honestly.
Mm,
In the indie sphere
yeah, sure. Yeah.
is doing strong.
I had Midnight Club for
Yeah.
PlayStation 2 and for the PSP. I had Need for Speed Underground. And then like 3 different Burnouts. Like Burnout was our thing in my house because like I remember my dad always said that he liked Gran Turismo because he had like all the classic cars and you can like customize them and like tune them up and everything. But like because like they didn't want their cars to look like broken down or whatever, like there's no damage to the cars or whatever. So that's what was like Burnout went in the complete opposite direction where it was just like, we want you to demolish these cars. And that was just like, yes, finally we can just trash these cars completely. And like, that was always the thing with like GTA, when they would have like little ramps around the city. So like, if you were trying to like run away from people or whatever, you can just do these crazy tricks or whatever.
Yeah.
And Burnout just took that idea and made it the entire game. And it was like, yes, I love to do these like stupid ass tricks. This is great.
Awesome.
I'm actually glad you mentioned the simulation lack of damage again. I actually wanted to mention that earlier when we were still talking about simulation stuff. I find it so strange that Gran Turismo and Co. are so into the realism where you have to do oil changes and take care of your car or whatever, but
Yeah.
you can crash into a wall and nothing happens to the car. It
Yeah.
seems so fucking weird. It feels
Because they
like
won't
this is
allow it.
yeah, I
It's so
get
stupid.
the rights thing or whatever, but it really seems like this is exactly the moment, exactly the kind of space that
Right.
this should be
Yeah.
represented. It's very strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I want to do my own crash test dummies with these cars.
Right?
Like, the real cars. I want to see before I go buy this car just how it reacts when
Yeah.
I throw it off.
In a video game.
That's what I want to see. I want to see the realistic crashes.
Yeah.
I also think it's just stupid that the brands are even like that, frankly. Because, like, who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having a
Well, they
slightly
do.
having a
That's the
damaged
problem.
car in Gran Turismo isn't gonna affect the brand. You feel me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's odd.
But
But okay.
I think that's their thing where they're like, if you see how our car takes damage, you're not gonna want to like buy our car or whatever. But like if your car is better at the damage, maybe we'll go buy your car. So
Also,
know.
how about this? How many people are crashing so much that's gonna matter?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Speaking of crashing.
Burnout hasn't had a new game since
Mhm.
2008.
yeah.
It's
No,
just like
yeah.
a remaster and like a mobile game. Like
This
it's
is
been
my
fucked.
F-Zero. I'm waiting
Right,
for
exactly.
this to
Yeah.
happen.
Midnight Club, 2009.
Yeah.
I think the only like there was what Gotham Racing, right? Was that a street racer? Project Gotham Racing?
Yeah, I think so.
Like that was a big one. It's dead.
Okay,
That
but
was like a big Xbox one.
so the thing, Leah, you probably already know this, but I think the thing right now for the Burnout fans is that recreation game that people keep on raving about. That seems to be the closest we
Yeah.
got nowadays to that. Yeah.
But it's not Burnout.
But I think it's made by ex-Burnout devs, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong. But I would love to see a new Burnout as well, but because of the like extensive crashing for points bullshit. But when it comes to street racing, where they don't want you to crash into other cars, that I'm actually kind of happy it died out. Because nothing is more
Ugh.
aggravating. Nothing is more aggravating than driving well, doing well in a race, and then like a rando NPC car just gets in your way. That is so unsatisfying. And I do not miss it.
I didn't play also a lot of The Crew, but that's also another one technically.
Oh
I mean,
my
I
God,
technically
yeah.
have The Crew 2, but like again, that's one where like the open world thing kind of killed the game where it was
Yeah,
like I don't
yeah.
want to drive across the US to go to the next race. So
Yeah,
I'm not
the
gonna.
Crew is such a sore fucking thing for me as well. I was really hyped for the
Oh,
game
that's
because
annoying.
Driver San
Yeah.
Francisco by the same developers, if I'm not mistaken,
Mm.
is one of my favorite racing games, and I love that shit. So when they announced the Crew and building on that open world shit and whatever, I was so hyped at the moment. Didn't get it on release though, and at this point, I actively dislike the open world shit. So kind of feels like I missed my point to enjoy that game.
Yeah.
That's
But if you
unfortunate.
say it ruined the game anyway, maybe I dodged a
Yeah,
bullet.
it's not
bullet.
it wasn't I mean, again, it's like what was that like Ubisoft also? So like it was
Yeah,
gonna be trash. So
So were
I
you
guess
not a
that's
fan of
true.
Burnout Paradise then?
Me or
no,
Leah?
I played it a little
Leah.
bit, but not too strongly. Like I
Alright.
remember it also killed the Guns N' Roses song. So like it ended up being like we would just mute the TV, just start the game, and then once we got into the game, we would unmute it because it was like I'm tired of this song. This is a
That's
good
funny.
song. You're ruining this song.
See, Need for Speed Underground with Get Low in the main menu never got tired. That was a killer all the way through.
They never got low enough.
Yeah.
But I remember that was like my jam at the time anyway. So I was like, yes, give me this song again. This is great. Like,
Yeah, that shit ruled.
but like Paradise
But
City was
then
one of those things where it's like it's good in the moment, but not all the time. So like
Yeah.
just wanting to play this game, I was like, shut up. I just put me in the game already.
That's why I mute the music in most racing games after some hours.
Yeah.
Just play my own shit.
For me, it
Yeah.
depends heavily on the racing game. But
Yeah.
maybe that'll be one of the questions later.
Didn't have it in mind, but it
That's
definitely fits.
That sort of happened to me with NHL 22. Like they have like whole soundtrack, like it's a skating game for some reason, and I was like,
Oh yeah.
I don't need to hear real songs while I'm just scooting through the menus. Like you can just play a score or something. So I had to turn that off because I was like, I don't need to like. Because sometimes it was good songs, and then I would just like sit there listening to the song. I'm like, no, I want to play this game. They're distracting me.
I just gotta say,
It's
right
funny.
now, it
Yep.
is funny just how far off I am from this opinion. Because in my opinion, having a strong soundtrack for menus is one of the most important things in a sports game.
It
And I
can
really
be,
hated
but
when
sometimes it
Madden
gets
moved away from it.
distracting.
Yeah, but then you just mute it.
Yeah, well, I do. I
Yeah.
did.
You gotta have it. You gotta have it. Is all I'm saying.
I respect when there's good music. A lot of times, like skating games are like hit or miss with their
Yeah.
music, and it's just like this is some rock song. We license it, I guess. But you know,
If a game has licensed music in their thing, they need to have a playlist, editing thing where you can actually choose which
oh
songs you want to
yeah,
The
hear.
Man
yeah,
games, all the Man games
There
have
you
that.
go. Yeah, that needs to be there. That is a requirement, in
I
my
agree.
opinion.
The
yeah. I
Madden,
should say,
those soundtracks are how I got into like Rise Against and stuff like that.
Oh
So
yeah. I got into a bunch of punk rock bands through the wrestling games and whatnot.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Guess that's it for the street racing. Let's move on to another one.
Another
How
Matt
about?
favorite.
Well, I was gonna go somewhere else first, but yeah, I put a bunch of different, I guess, environments basically in one category. We got, because there are all those things with like we got aquatic racing, we got snow racing with the snowmobiles that I've talked about plenty in the past, and like I guess aerial racing probably exists somewhere as well, and maybe even racing that is not on vehicles at all.
Oh yeah, I've seen racing games are just like running.
Motorcycles.
Motorcycle as well, yeah. Running like speedrunners, the
Like
2D racing game, that's so good. That I'm excited for the sequel later this year.
I'm not sure I've heard about that one. So
It's pretty old at this point. Has good multiplayer
does
shit.
is there
I'll
besides
consider it.
Sonic Racing? Is there a Sonic game that
Yeah,
qualifies for this
On a car.
genre?
Sonic R, yeah.
Yeah.
On some fucking Sega console, one of the most hated racing games of all time. It's so fucking awkward.
Is it? I don't know if I'd say that.
Okay, let's say one of the most divisive
I
Sonic
think
games.
Divisive is better.
Yeah.
I feel like Sonic R has like some serious fans, and a lot of people aren't serious fans. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
I've wanted to play it.
I've thought about it before, but every time I watch a video about it, I prefer not to. It seems interesting from a distance. I don't think I would enjoy it myself.
I think I have it
Oh boy.
on
no.
something, like not emulated. Right? Is it on PC?
There's I I hope not. But
Then
maybe.
no, it's gotta just be I have it emulated then.
A bunch of retro Sonic games used to be on Steam, but I think they got delisted at this point. I don't know if Sonic R was one of them.
Yeah, I don't know either. I know I purchased like various Sonic games there. For sure, so I definitely
Yeah.
honestly
But
I
yeah,
thought it would be fun if Sonic just ran in like normal racing games. It'd be funny if everyone else was in a car and he's
yeah,
just running.
it's true. But
But
yeah, okay, so running games, we got Speedrunners, we got Sonic R, and we got Mirror's Edge, technically, I guess. And that's pretty
there was like
much.
one game I saw a dude playing, I can't remember its name. He was like playing like games I've never heard of, and it was like just a futuristic, like future dystopian running racing game. Which was like interesting, but the game didn't seem all that good, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. I think there's a game called, like, it's a one syllable name. Like, it's Pace or Haste or whatever that came out recently that people were talking about for a while, which I think was running like Sonic 3D style running
Oh,
around.
shit! I know exactly which one you mean.
At least that.
And it
I
looked
don't.
really good actually too.
Yeah, but actually, I'm not sure if is like a racing game. I don't know.
Just
But
like
it might
Quap is
be.
really a racing game.
Yeah, there's probably an argument to have that here or whatever. But
So if we're talking environmental,
yeah,
because I don't SSX tricky. Let's
Yeah.
go.
um,
I love me some SSX tricky.
yeah, I still need to play those. Are they racing based? Are they about getting to the goal fast? I don't even.
SSX tricky specifically is like a bit less racing game, but still a racing game. Like the other SSX games, as far as I know, are more like traditional snowboarding games.
Right.
SSX tricky, you have like a boost meter, and you have to fulfill tricks while you're going to fill up your boost meter, and then boost at the right time and stuff like that. So it's more arcadian like that. You're still racing though. Where?
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So if we come with snow, I think the like true racing games that I can only think of are the snowmobile racing games. Jeez, the snowmobile racing games, which I've famously played a whole bunch of in a marathon a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But I always I think that's also one of the reasons why I got into rally games, because that has the opportunity to have snowy environments in a racing genre. I would love to see like a full-on snow only thing, but those don't really seem to exist. I think the closest that I got once was Motor Storm, the original, which is for some reason
Mm.
only in Arctic environments. I think it's called Arctic Edge or some nonsense. But unfortunately, that was
I mean,
like,
for sure.
yeah. But unfortunately, that was really bland. I never finished that. Probably sickness of being the first Motor Storm games. The sequels were so much better.
That's
So
unfortunate.
yeah, I think the key in snow is gonna be snowmobiles and I guess snowboards. And it's gonna be it for a while. And then occasionally a rally track here and there.
Right.
Aquatic is even more restrictive because you can't really like water doesn't just stay in all the places that you might want to have a complete track. So you which is actually one of the reasons why I love aquatic racing games, because people have to be creative about where they set them. I mean, sure, you could just put a bunch of buoys in a lake and have them go in a circles or whatever.
Hmm.
But I love how the couple of aquatic games that I've tried so far really try to use the most variety they could, with like going through the thick waves of the open ocean and then some like duck infested little lake in some misty little countryside or whatever. And
Duck
I
infested.
really love that. Like I've often said that the environments in a racing game are one of the most important things about it. The vibes need to be there, and with the
Yeah.
aquatic games, it's there aren't many there. But if somebody tries to do a purely aquatic racing game, it seems like very often they like really put effort into the different environments because it's such a limited thing. Unless you are God, what is that? Oh God, Hydro. No, not Hydro Thunder
Hydro
Hurricane is
Thunder.
that is one of the most awesome racing games of all time. But they also have like dinosaurs swimming around and like nonsense physics to have like waterways in ways that make sense for a racing game or whatever. Hydro Thunder Hurricane though, like people need to go back to that one. That is like one of the greatest racing
I've
games of
heard a
all
lot
time.
about it. I believe it's on my wish list even.
I'm very glad about that. It's so fucking good.
I think the only aquatic racing game I've played is played Race Blue Storm for the GameCube, which I really didn't necessarily enjoy that much.
I've played Wave Race 64.
Yeah, I've
It's
only
my-
played 64 as well. Though the GameCube game does look good. I've been meaning to give that one a
It
shot
looks good.
someday.
Although I kind of prefer some other water in visually. It was just kind of boring. It wasn't bad. It just Not that I would have caught it at the time. It was kind of sauceless.
Okay.
It was just a bit without sauce.
I mean, I do have to say, Wave 64 also didn't like wow me too much.
Yeah.
I usually prefer speedboats over jet skis anyway.
I prefer Diddy Kong Racing for my water racing.
God damn it.
I
Why not
prefer-
Mario Kart at that point? Don't they have boats as well or something?
No, Mario Kart's terrible for
Oh my God.
anything that's not on land. Like,
They don't do it. You either
Yeah.
die in the water or you go underwater.
Damn.
there was another one. Oh, in the Crew, apparently they also have like speedboats that you can race on, but I didn't get that far into it to know what that's like. So
Oh yeah,
I
I've heard
only
about
did one of
that.
the aerial races, and that was terrible.
Riptide GP Renegade is the aquatic racer that I was trying to think of. That is the best aquatic racing game I've ever played, and I hope to God that the developers will make another one at some point. It's so fucking cool. Since we are talking about aquatic racing games, I will probably never get another shot to mention this. Quick shout out to Kandagawa Jet Girls, which is an anime jet ski game where you have
Oh!
weapons to
I know of
shoot
that
the other
one.
drivers. It's not like great.
Excuse me?
It's not
What-
like
what is
great,
the
but
name?
it is a fun concept. Kandagawa
Kanagawa
Jet Girls.
Jet Girls. They're by the Senran Kagura devs.
Oh, that checks out big
It-
time
yeah,
because that's
Considering
what
what it's
the
like,
characters are
yeah,
designed like. Yeah,
yeah, it's horny.
yeah.
we all know
Okay.
what it is. They made an anime of it.
Yeah, I heard. Never watched it.
I'm there.
To give you an idea of Matt, this was already on my wish.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Didn't expect
I-
anything else.
Not even because it's horny, just I read a review that's like, yeah, this seems good.
It's fine. It's a bit clunky.
You know, and that review I read actually does remind me of something I would agree with. I think there's games that could really cross over the visual novel genre with the racing
Oh, yeah.
genre and actually
Mhm.
make something really good.
Inertial Drift had some of the better, like, visual novel style writing between the races. I was a bit impressed with that. It was good.
Yeah, I gotta get it at some
Yeah,
point.
you do rules. That's some street racing I can get behind because there's no other cars on the roads. Okay, so we talked about snow, we talked about aquatic shit. Aerial racing. I would be surprised if somebody had something to add to that. And I do not want to hear Diddy Kong
Okay.
Racing again. I know there's planes in that.
Well, I'm just saying Diddy Kong Racing.
Yeah. Aerial racing is a thing, though, that I've been curious about for a while
Does
because it
Pilot Wings count?
seems
I haven't played it, but I'm curious.
interesting, but
Yeah, I was gonna say the
nobody
closest I
has really
got was
done it.
Pilot Wings, but I don't think it's a racing game.
Pilot
It's more like
Wings,
just
goddamn.
objectives.
This is the kind of thing where I'd be interested in it, but I don't even know what games exist in the genre.
Yeah, that's the
Right.
thing. Yeah, I guess it's also no. There are definitely a couple like plane racing games or whatever, but it's like tricky to make an interesting, cohesive racetrack in like empty space. So I get why
Yeah,
that is a
that's the
challenge.
issue. Yeah.
The closest I have
Be a
seen that
rally game.
did it really really well. I like unintentionally so. I think Redout is an anti-grav racing game, a modern one that has some environments with really low gravity where you are spending a lot of time in like empty space jumping from piece of track to piece of track, and that felt like the closest most competent like sort of aerial racing I've ever witnessed, and that really made me like hungry for a game that would fully focus on that, but I've not found that yet so far.
There was a game that I played. I think it was like either free or I just had a demo or something where you race on dragons, and that was probably the closest I got to.
That sounds cool.
That's badass.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
I don't remember
you
what
know,
the hell the name of that was.
when we're talking about genres and stuff, I also feel like there probably is stuff like fantasy racing and stuff like that that does not really get explored that could theoretically
Yeah.
be cool.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Like give me like a fantasy racing game and I can race like a dragon
Yeah.
or like some different fantasy creature and they all have different attacks. Boom. Basic racing game, $20.
Yeah, pretty much.
I guess Nightmare Card is kind of the closest to that.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
apparently
That's
Hyperflight Arena on Epic. Where you fly.
Hyperflight
Y'all's Epic.
Arena.
Yeah.
Well, that's something to research. That's something to note down.
Here's
I
the
do.
problem.
Yeah.
Then I'd have to actually go buy a game on the Epic Games Store.
Well, that one's free, so.
Oh, sick! Then I don't. Maybe I'll grab it.
I'm also realizing
Problem
now
solved.
there's a whole slew of drone racing games which are modeled after the actual
Oh.
sport. I guess those are basically as close as we're gonna get right
Yeah.
now to aerial racing.
Yeah.
Those are kind of fun.
Yeah.
I wouldn't play a full game of them, but they're fun when they're in other games that I'm playing.
Oh, that
Drone
that
racing.
that happens.
The GTA games.
Oh,
I'm sorry to be so late on this. We're far past kart racing, and obviously it's not technically a kart racer, but it plays exactly like a kart racer. But I gotta
Mhm.
shout out that Cars 3, the game, for some reason is actually
Yes.
really fucking good.
Yes.
goddamn.
Yes.
Matt should try it.
No, I don't want to.
Try it.
Cars games were actually really good. I forget about those.
Yeah.
but they're
Yeah, I
good.
keep hearing about that.
They control well. They have an
From
interesting
us.
trick system, and I can have Lightning McQueen shoot guys with machine guns.
That's epic sauce.
You feel what I mean? Boom. What else do I need?
Ka-chow, ka-pow.
Oh, gosh.
Ka-chow.
I don't want that. I don't want my vehicles to talk. That is a nightmare. I cannot bear that.
It has a whole story mode too, and like has full cutscenes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no.
It's
I'm
like
out.
sure, but no, that's why you gotta be in. You just like you expanded your horizons with other stuff. Expand your horizons with cars.
I have my limits still. I know.
Fuck, I gotta put that as a title option.
I'm setting boundaries, and that includes not playing cars games. Nope.
Damn.
Look, all I'm saying is in the future you gotta think about it.
Oh, I would rather not. So now that we filled the whole of aerial racing, let's move on to something much more frequently existing. Destruction and combat racing, I think, is a genre that's much more populated. Maybe not so much
Back in the
today,
day.
but back in the day, definitely. And I do think there's some solid, indie productions or whatever. I mean, back in the day, we had Destruction Derby, etc. And what's the clown one with the show?
Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal and whatever. Yeah. Nowadays we have Wreckfest and Recreation and whatnot. We do have quality stuff. And what I really want to see come back, I think I just talked about this in a recent episode, is Split Seconds, because that gimmick of
Yeah.
triggering environmental destruction to stop the other cars on the track is so unique and cool. I'm begging to all the gods to bring that back at some point.
I mean, it can only exist in a split second is the problem.
Yeah, how about Split Second 2?
Split minute.
Regular second.
Regular.
Um,
Long second. When it comes to destruction games, I played Destruction Derby 64.
oh my god.
It was fun. I think the biggest problem with Destruction Derby 64 is the actual racing kind of sucks. But like
Yeah.
just going into derby mode and wrecking people is fun.
I
The actual
played
racing is just like whatever.
Destruction Derby Arenas on the PS2, which I think is the last game in that series, and that was like a formative game. That shit, we played that all the time when we were
Yeah.
kids. That was actually quality shit.
I've never played it, but I gotta shout out Carmageddon just for having a strong name.
Right, yeah.
This is a bit out of not completely out of topic, but I guess it's not directly talking about the games. I'm pretty sure the biggest impact that the Destruction Derby games have had on me is way back when I joined the Smash Brothers Make Your Move project thing. One of the prominent dudes kept making movesets for cars from like Vigilante 8 and stuff.
Oh,
For the-
nice.
Yeah.
And they were like really bizarre mechanically, and they're bad, but they're fascinating.
Yeah, I
Kind of thing.
believe
And
that.
that is
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
the most impact that any of these has had
That's
on
strange.
me. Yeah.
I loved Vigilante 8. I was really rooting for that to like be an actual franchise for a while. Cuz like Twisted Metal was cool, but like there was something about the characters in Vigilante 8 that I really enjoyed. I don't even remember what it was, but I was just like this needs to be a new genre, and then it went nowhere.
I've never even heard of this.
Twisted Metal also didn't go anywhere after a while. Like the last one was terrible, so I'm
Right.
still hoping that because of the TV show that we actually get a new game at some point, but I don't
That'd
know
be cool.
how hopeful that is.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm impressed that there's a racing game we've both known about that
Yeah.
Matt didn't.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
shocked me.
you beat me. Yeah.
I did not expect that to happen whatsoever during this entire discussion. Unless it was like some like really random shit.
Yeah, I gotta download this because this was a fun time.
Yeah.
Wait, there was a version for Game Boy Color? Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the best
Oh yeah,
one.
let's go.
Oh my gosh. Dude, racing games on
Game
Game
Boy
Boy,
Color racing.
nightmare. Oh.
But funny.
Yeah. Yeah, funny for 5 minutes, pain for the remaining 2 hours. Yeah, Destruction Combat, I think we pretty much settled there pretty quickly. I don't think there's
Yeah.
too much more on that bone. So, let's talk about, I guess, the most
The next one is one
Yeah.
that I actually added to the list, so I'm gonna lead into it.
Sure.
I wasn't really sure what to call the genre, but really it's just like the F1, NASCAR, all those kind of games.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
the like real life sports games,
The
which I
professional
suspect
ones.
will be a very short topic because I don't think anyone else has really played them. But that actually probably makes up maybe a third of the racing games I've really played are games like this. So I wanted to at least
Well.
kind of see if anyone else has even played a single one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've played a NASCAR one. Unless you count cars.
I mean, I guess technically in a way.
If you're talking about like truly branded shit, yeah, that I haven't yet played anything. Gran Turismo 4 with it's the closest I'm coming to professional races,
Right.
and I guess Need for Speed Pro Street, where they did try to do professional races instead of illegal street racing, is also in there, I guess. But yeah, not much there. You know what? My problem with those racing games more than anything is just the lack of environmental flair. I hate these how these professional racetracks look. It depresses me.
I don't know. I think the F1 games are better for visuals than NASCAR games probably. But I mean, for me, it's probably different because I've said this before. I grew up a huge NASCAR fan.
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
the
yeah.
first sport I actually got into. So for me, I'm like, oh, it's the thing.
Yeah, it's a circle.
I've watched that race. But,
one day I will play a NASCAR game for sure.
I'm gonna say right now, if you play a NASCAR game, play NASCAR Thunder 2003, or NASCAR Thunder 2004, or maybe NASCAR Thunder 2005. I don't like it as much.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna crucify me,
05.
but I have NASCAR Heat 5 on my backlog. That's the one
That's
that
fine.
I'm looking at. Okay, cool.
It's
Dope.
it's not what I want you to play.
Yeah, well, it's what you're gonna
And
get.
It's not as good. I'm gonna tell you right now. It's just
Yeah.
not as good.
3 out of 5.
I know you're saying, oh, it's the one you're gonna get, but seriously, I recommend trying.
It's the one I have.
It's the one you have.
Yeah.
Because you can just emulate.
Not the one you want, but it's the one you got.
With not this year, with one of your limited emulations, one time in the future. Because your entire life isn't going to be limited in emulation, I suspect.
We'll see. If I emulate too much, I'm gonna get shot probably. Somebody's gonna. My life is at stake. You don't understand.
Look, you might get shot, but at least you play some good ass racing.
I don't know about that. I'm not convinced.
You went
yet.
down in a blazing fire on the
For
side of the race.
NASCAR.
See, the racing games will teach you how to get away from the cop.
I don't know. I don't think that works. I think those
That's why
NASCAR
there's
cars are
people.
trapped in that circle, so I don't think that's gonna happen.
But seriously, like the NASCAR Thunder games are good. But I've also played like F1 World Grand Prix on the N64, and that's a
Yeah.
game that's like it's outdated. I'm not gonna go too long because I know everybody's just kind of gonna be listening. But that game was always fun because outside of the Grand Prix mode, they did something I really love when racing games do. They had a challenge mode, and the challenge mode was based on real events, and you either
Ooh,
had to alter the events or match the events.
that is
Like,
cool.
yeah, that's something I love. Like, there's one I always remember because this was like a real life thing that was unfortunate. That was like a big thing. I think it was Damon Hill. He was in first place. And I think he hadn't won a race in a long time, like off circuit, and I think it'd been a while since he won. And he was in premium first place, and then his gearbox broke, and he couldn't go, I believe, higher than second or third gear. And
Oh,
in
that
real
sucks.
life, I think he got second. I don't remember if he managed to win. But the challenge in this game is that because he had a really big lead, your gearbox breaks. And you have to maintain the lead at gear 3 and actually win the race.
Yeah,
And
that
it's like,
that
that's a fun
shit
concept.
rules. Yeah, that sort of thing
Yeah,
would get me interested in a Formula One racing game. God damn
yeah. And
it.
NASCAR Thunder has challenges like that too. Like, there's one race in real life. One dude was looking for his first win ever, and he had done a pit strategy that got him low on gas. And
Mm,
in real life, unfortunately, he ran out of gas on the last lap in the backstretch, and he got passed right
Jesus.
near the
What?
end. Your goal is that you actually start the race about 5 laps beforehand, I believe it is. You need to massage your gas and not use enough gas to not run out, or run out with enough of a lead that you can go still, maintain your speed and win while not
Oh my
giving up the
god.
lead.
Yeah,
And it's like,
that's
that's just like a
cool
fun
shit.
challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love those. And in NASCAR Thunder, when you complete those challenges, you unlock new cars and new paint jobs and stuff too.
Ooh.
Mm.
So it's like, I that was always something. They called them the Thunder challenges, and I always really enjoyed that. And in NASCAR Thunder, they actually introduced each challenge with a short little interview from the actual racer involved,
Oh,
telling you like what happened and challenging you to do
Oh,
whatever.
that's cool.
that is
It
some
is.
dope shit. Yeah. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
that's one of the things I love about these games. They had a bunch of stuff like that, which the new games just don't have.
Damn.
Yeah.
The new games are just multiplayer. That's all that matters. That's what the suits think.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where the
Are
money
they even
is.
multiplayer?
I'm pretty sure the decline of racing games is heavily leaning on that
No,
because,
I meant like the new NASCAR ones.
oh, I mean, surely they are
Probably. I
multiplayer.
mean, that's how all the sports games
Probably.
have gone. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
even in
Yeah, all the
the
racing
NHL
games.
game, like they have two menus where it's like, here's offline options, here's online options. And I was like, that's crazy,
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
right. God, it's modern sports games. I can't go into it. But I played Indy Racing 200. It just wasn't the same as F1 World Grand Prix. And I
Yeah.
think a big reason was the fact that it lacked that kind of tender love and care. It just kind of felt like a standard racing game. Even though Indy Racing 200 actually is interesting, because even though it's IndyCar, it actually has like all the circuits. Like God, what are they fucking called? Like the small open wheelers and stuff like that. I can't remember their names now.
An open
But
wheeler. You gotta go to the doctor to fix that.
one of my least favorite games ever is NASCAR '09, which
Mhm.
I have wondered now if actually I was the problem, because I realized what might have actually caused it. But the game is just like, you cannot accept, like, you have to hold your thumb down so hard to get even solid acceleration. I don't understand what was happening. I've realized now maybe what caused that is that I have a PS1 controller. I don't have a PS2 controller.
Oh.
So could it be because it doesn't have the pressure sensitive buttons, it's not reading it properly?
Mm.
Yeah, could be.
That's the only thing I can think of, because otherwise the game is just like genuinely, like, I felt like I was going to break my controller just playing it.
Before we leave the NASCAR circle, I'm realizing now, I'm seeing now that this NASCAR Heat 5 on my backlog has since been delisted and it's no longer available. It was only online for like 5 years. So that truly screams quality. I'm sure there's nothing sinister
Oh
behind
yeah,
that. Yeah, I'm excited to play
totally.
this someday. Okay, I guess that's sport racing, huh?
Yeah, in general, I like going through it. I probably should try some other F1 games, especially.
It sounds like you already
But
played the peak of it, though. That shit sounded dope.
on the
Yeah.
Nintendo 64, maybe. I've downloaded the sequel for emulation, so we'll see if the sequel can improve upon it.
Yeah, I better hold up. Okay, one. I guess last little subgenre that I was thinking of just now as we were talking. This is another niche thing that I'm obsessed with, and probably nobody else. Miniature and RC car racing.
Ooh,
So we got the radio controlled cars and whatnot, and like, what is? Oh my god, what is the toy car? I mean, Hot Wheels is in there, of course.
Hot
Hot
Wheels, yeah.
Micro Machines?
Micro Machines, exactly. Yeah, those had some prominent
Oh,
games and that. And I always, I don't even, I guess it's just part of my general neck for bug-sized points of views, like having the exploring an environment from that
Ants
point
Racing.
of view. Ants racing as well. They all suck ass
yeah,
though. But like even just a radio controlled car, instead of like driving over these professional roads and whatever, having a radio controlled car that like races through like a living room or like a beach setting or whatever. Like you have so much variety where you can put
Yeah.
these small little
Yeah,
things, and that is so much fun. One of my
Toy Story Racer. That's in this genre.
yeah, if we keep talking about Toy Story Racer, I think mostly off mic. It's but it definitely fits. But
I
one
mean,
of
it's one of
my
my nominees for Game of the Month, so if they have time travel, they can vote for that for the April Fool's.
exactly. Talking a lot to time travelers today. um, but one of my most formative games, one of the greatest games that nobody knows about, is 3D Ultra Radio Control Racers, which is a I don't know budget title, a bird's eye view racing game, but it is RC
Never
cars
heard of
driving through
this.
like um, a racetrack in a backyard garden or like around like construction works and whatever. That came with like some magazine when I was a kid, and I put probably hundreds of hours into that. Even revisited it a couple of years ago with an expansion pack that I never knew existed, and like that shit
All
still
right.
rules. There's something whimsical and magical about like little RC cars driving through like mm,
Yeah.
you know regular ass environments instead of like your usual race tracks and whatever. I love that shit. I'm always on the lookout for those things.
So the first one
Yeah.
I think about with this is one I think may have come up before, and one I know Matt has played, Revolt.
Yeah,
The little yeah.
I
I
I
played that
only
one on the 64.
I only dabbled in it, and I remember that that's like one of the most beloved like RC car racing games. Like there's a strong
Yeah.
active community in modding that shit. I've never actually played the game through from the beginning to end, and that's pretty high on my list on my backlog to actually get to properly some point.
Yeah, like I've played it through. It was one of those ones I feel like I didn't think too much of it when I was younger, but I did play it a good amount, and I kind of think back out fondly. I kind of wonder if I'd like it more coming back to it even. But I've wanted to get on PC because I've heard the modding scene is like super active. I'm really curious what it's like, honestly.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Why this game? I remember like that this is
I,
10 years ago, whatever. I was looking into this, and I think they're still going on now.
I'm not sure, but this is a personal speculation. I kind of wonder if the fact the game was made to have a track editor means
Oh,
that's easy to modify.
yeah, that could be. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because it did have like a noteworthy track editor.
That would explain the appeal as well. Yeah, dude, I love
But I
track
enjoyed it.
editors.
I did play like Hot Wheels Stunt Track Driver. That was it, I believe. Which I didn't really enjoy much as a kid. I didn't really think it was all too good. But I've heard there's
Yeah.
better Hot Wheel games out there.
Oh, for sure. There's plenty. There's plenty. Though,
Yeah,
like,
I really wanted to play the one you had talked about before, but I just didn't get to it.
Yeah, soundtrack challenge. But that is not even. That's also like a, I don't, I don't know, interesting thing maybe. But like a lot of the Hot Wheels racing games do play in the lore of the cars or whatever. So you're not actually like driving toy cars. But I really, really enjoy when the Hot Wheels games did that. I think the most recent 2 Hot Wheels games that are on modern platforms, they are back to actually having the toy cars drive around like tracks in living rooms and stuff, and that's very, very
That's good because
fun.
that I
Yeah.
think is a huge part of the appeal.
Yeah, it should be there. Yeah.
Although I will say I do really like the idea of having a toy car Gran Turismo with like all these hardcore stats and simulation.
I'm sure there's some like super niche, like hardcore enthusiast game that tries to realistically simulate real RC cars and whatever in that whole environment because it does exist.
All I'm saying is get Gran Turismo's physics and design there, put it on the like RC car tracks, Gran Turismo. Let's go.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you would have my money with that shit. That's for sure. Okay. I think we went through enough of those subgenres to go to some more specific questions.
So I mentioned I wanted to bring something up. I
Yeah.
haven't completely finished it, but I'm gonna bring it up now for what I do have. What do I most want to play from all the genres we talked about, basically?
What, like your hottest backlog game for each subgenre?
Yeah, or wish listed game.
Gosh.
And part of what I wanted to ask is like, what do you think the best Colin McRae rally game is? Because I feel like I've wanted to try one.
See, I haven't actually played those yet. I have played
All
V
right,
Rally 2 though, which is very close, and that one was very, very good.
I've got V
Um,
Rally 2 on here. I've got Colin McRae. I wasn't sure which one to go with, like the V rallies or even a Sega rally. For arcade, I have Ridge Racer 2 on the PSP.
right.
For rally racing, I had Colin McRae Rally. For street racing, I was debating between Need for Speed Hot Pursuit or Burnout Paradise. I'm not really sure necessarily what the best Need for Speed game is. That's just the one that's most well known in my head. Environmental racing was Hydro Thunder Hurricane.
Hell yeah.
Demolition was Vigilante 8. Sports was F105. And then toy racing was Hot Wheels Stunt Track Challenge.
That doesn't count. That because they are like in fitting lore. They are not like toy cars in that game,
Hey, you
unfortunately.
brought it up, it counts.
Sure, whatever.
I don't even know what I'd pick aside from that, honestly, off the top of my head, at least.
I don't think I could give you. So I could say for a couple like arcade racing games. What I have high on top of my backlog right now is Horizon Chase Turbo because that is.
Oh, I got that.
I mean, I own that already, so it doesn't really matter for me. But that is leaving storefronts in I think June or something, like very soon, and that it's gone. It's
Yeah, I do
gone.
have that.
But it looks really cool. And I know that for the miniature C racing subgenre, I have a Micro Machines VR game that I've been meaning to play for a long time. Mini Challenge Mayhem, it's called. It's
All right.
probably not good, but I really want to give it a shot.
I mean, it's an interesting concept just to have like a VR game like that.
Yeah, at the very least, that, yeah. And for the destruction game stuff, I mentioned Wreckfest. I was one of the earliest backers when this was still crowdfunded, and I have played hours and hours in the beta versions back in the day with like the multiplayer stuff. But I've never actually went through the entire campaign, so Wreckfest has been on my priority backlog for a little bit now as well. Recently, that's gonna be my destruction thing.
All right.
And I could say for anti-grav racing, I'm looking at Star Racer right now, which is very much an Super Nintendo F-Zero inspired indie game that looks super cool.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's
Now I'm gonna look this one up.
that's my main.
Oh, their trailer starts with like a Daft Punk kind of animation thing. That's the
I don't even know about that. I've only seen screenshots, looked through the storefront at some point, and then bought it.
This really does just look like 2D F-Zero.
Yeah, it's super close to that for sure, but people like it,
Such a
so
Matt. This is still Matt inspired for sure.
yeah, mad inspired. I could only hope.
Tisk
I don't
tisk
know.
tisk though. No Cars 2 or 3.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, that will never happen. Leah, do you have any off the head any priority racing games that you want to get to?
Not really.
Yeah, I figured. No Mario Kart.
I know I've got some Hot Wheels thing that I got off of Epic that I have on this computer and I haven't actually started up yet. So
Hot Wheels
I do
Unleashed.
want to play
probably.
more of those miniature. Played what was it like that NES one, Trans Am or whatever.
NES. Oh yeah, RC Pro Am. Probably,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, that one.
I
Yeah,
had that on
yeah,
Game
yeah,
Boy.
yeah,
It
that one.
sucked ass.
A ringing endorsement.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I haven't really gone into that subgenre in a very long time since that game. So, like, I
Yeah.
really need to flesh out my experience in
Yeah.
that subgenre.
Try Revolt.
Oh.
It is solid.
Yeah, that seems. Or Toy
What?
Story Racer. Revolt,
Oh,
he
yeah,
was recommending.
I mean, Toy Story Racer. It's hot right now.
Everybody's talking about Toy Story Racer.
Yeah.
Surely it won Game of the Month by now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's go into a couple more direct questions about our racing game preferences. These could probably be answered with like 5 words each, but I want to ask them.
Yeah.
What is your preferred camera view in a racing game? Do you prefer the chase camera behind the car, the cockpit view, or anything more special?
Chase.
Yeah.
The only time I've used cockpit is in Ridge Racer 1 and Ridge Racer 2. The
What the
first two
fuck?
Ridge Racer Revolution.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
in those games, if you're in the chase camera, there are multiple parts of the level where the model is just not correctly looked, and it's meant to be played in cockpit because it was in the arcades.
It is the default
Oh,
view,
okay.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So because of that, I played cockpit, and it kind of, when I did it, it just worked better. So I just went with it. But for the vast majority of all other games, I prefer a chase camera. I prefer the slightly further away chase camera from the close-up chase camera, but it can't be
Yeah.
too far out.
No, I
I
want
mean, when you
mine
think
as
about
far out
chase
as
cameras,
possible.
chase camera is practically a cheat
Yeah.
code in some games.
Yeah.
The only time I go for a cockpit is if I'm playing a simulation racer. Because then
Makes
it's like,
sense.
well, I'm already supposed to be simulating. I shouldn't be able to see outside the car if I'm simulating it. So, but
But
for
here,
arcade racers, most of
Truly
the
get the
time,
experience.
here is my rebuttal. When you're playing a video game on a screen, you do not have the peripheral vision that you would have in real life. Therefore, the cockpit view in a video game is taking so much away from what you would see in an actual cockpit. And
yeah, that's
that
true.
is information that's
That's fair.
crucial that I don't want to miss. That's why the chase camera makes up for it.
That's why I usually don't go for them. Because yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
You don't have the side windows.
That's a
It
good
always feel
argument for
very
the
claustrophobic.
close chase camera in like simulation, so that you get some peripheral vision, but it doesn't feel like a cheat code.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I had a like I don't know free screen setup where I had the whole game
That would
spread out
rule.
over the whole
That
thing
would rule.
for the peripheral vision, then I would consider the cockpit view much more. But I'm not. I don't have that shit.
Do you use manual transmission or do you use automatic transmission?
American versus European.
Sure.
What do a lot of people use manual in Europe or some?
It's the standard. It's very rare that you find an automatic
Okay.
transmission.
I actually
here.
didn't know that. Automatic.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dumb American
I had
brain.
an argument with this on the Discord.
The way I say it, if I use automatic, I don't have to think about it when I'm racing. I think
Yeah.
manual, most games offer an advantage with manual, so I think there is a good reason to pick it. Like they'll have a higher top speed or there'll be a trick.
A
But
game
most games you don't need it.
should,
So.
yeah, a game definitely
should.
should reward you for that, for sure.
Right. It
But
should.
because why else would you do that? I've
Exactly.
been thinking about this like in the recent days. I feel like I usually use also automatic transmission, of course, but I feel like there was like one or two games where I did actually go with manual by choice because I liked the control or like needed the control. But I actually cannot remember which games those were, which actually
I
bums me
definitely
out.
remember there was some game you played on stream where you were like yelling at it because you didn't know you had to do something to like change gears and it was like putting you in reverse or something like that. And you were like, what the hell is going on with this
God,
shift
yeah.
system?
God, what was
But
that?
I don't
Jesus
remember
Christ.
what game that was.
Matt should have done the research beforehand, so we knew the game.
I thought it was like longer ago that I don't actually have the. I didn't realize there was maybe a recording of that lying around.
I don't know if that's a specific one, but that's the one I remember.
But here's my thing though, as well. This is very similar to the camera thing, where it's pretty much hardware reliant. I would more often choose the manual transmission if it wasn't all mapped on a controller. On one controller, it's too much for the fingers to handle. If I actually had like a proper setup with pedals and wheel and like a
Right.
stick, then it would feel much more natural, much easier to handle. But all on the finger on a controller, it just gets crowded and cramped.
If
Yeah.
I had like an actual car setup where I've got like a steering wheel, and
Yeah.
a transmission, and then
Yeah.
I think even aside from just how it feels on a controller, I think at that point it's like if I'm doing all the setup, I'm doing it because I want to actually drive it like a driver. So at that point, I should do manual because, like, yeah, I'm getting the experience of doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's one controller that is best for manual transmission that I remember, even though I don't use it really much. And it's the Nintendo 64 controller. Because the Z-Button little trigger, it kind of has like a specific feel to it. Being at the bottom, you go voop, voop, that kind of feels almost like a shift.
I guess. I don't know.
That's
Is that
just a
trigger really
random
that
thought.
different from other controllers? Other than the placement, I
Kinda.
guess.
It's how you hold it. And it's like just a different feel. I think what it is my brain compartmentalizes it as like
Mhm.
with the L and R buns, it's easy to compartmentalize them as not like literally the same thing, but like it's the L and R bun, boop, 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 boop. But I think with the
Yeah.
Z and versus R, a lot of times I'm like, all right, these are the shoulder buns and this is a trigger. And it's like different in my head.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. But the
Yeah.
game has to really argue strongly for it for me to even consider it, and that is mostly not really done. Not at least not
Agree.
like, yeah, whatever. Okay, so that was a unanimous decision, pretty much. Next question. I have a feeling we're gonna agree on this one as well. Open world versus focused races. What do we prefer here?
I
Kinda
don't
already
think I've
mentioned
ever
this.
played an open world racer.
Oh,
Like a
I
true
have,
open world
and you can
racer.
avoid them.
yeah.
No,
I,
I want to try them out because I just get curious about things.
okay. I give you a
Like
recommendation
City
here.
Trial doesn't really count for Kirby Air Ride, and that's probably the closest.
I give you a recommendation here that like makes up for the shortcomings of an open world game. Driver San Francisco is an open world game where you can drive around the whole map and get from mission to mission, but because of its unique setting, this is not a spoiler, this is part of the setup. This is a coma dream, the entire world, and you have the ability to just switch from vehicle to vehicle across the entire map. So if you don't want to drive from one end of the map to the other, you can literally just quick travel to any vehicle on the map, and that like immediately takes away the frustrations of an open world
All right, that's
game.
good to know.
Yeah,
I will point something out. I'm the
yeah,
guy who played like Persona 3 originally, and then also like the remake, and tried not to use the quick travel because I like the sound
yeah.
of footsteps. So I am the kind of guy who might be less sensitive to driving around anyway.
Yeah, I mean, even then, the game rules hard, so you're gonna have a good time
I've
either
heard a lot
way.
of good things.
Yeah, it's so fucking dope. Okay, yeah, we all prefer immediate races pretty much. Uh,
Yeah.
next question is not like a versus thing, pretty much, but more general questions. What do we think of track editors, which are often, but not always, like a crucial element in racing games? Do we dabble with these?
I often enjoy them a lot, but I end up not actually making a lot. I have thought before that something like a Super Mario Maker for racing games would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Especially when I was younger, I definitely chose a lot of my racing games based on whether or not they have track editors. And with a lot of them back in the day, I spent more time in building tracks than actually driving. And I think the biggest one in that regard is the Trackmania series, which I played from like the first
Yeah.
ever game throughout pretty much all of the sequels. And I still I was an active member of the forums. I uploaded my tracks and asked for feedback and like exchanged feedback with other people and whatnot. And the tracks are still out there, still on the I think
Oh, we can play
official.
Matt's custody tracks, guys.
Yeah, if you go to those like Trackmania track listing sites and look for the username Cool Car, one word,
Cool
you
car.
should be able to find at least some of my tracks. And Trackmania was also definitely a formative like racing game for me or whatever. I played that really early. The sequels spread themselves like throughout a lot of my growing up. I still go back to a lot of the Trackmania games these days. Um, although I don't really create tracks anymore nowadays, I'm actually play the game more as it is meant to be. But I do miss like a racing game with like a super active um like track editing
Community.
community with a proper like way to share the tracks. I don't think that is at all like a focus anymore, even with games that do have like track editors these days. Except maybe Trackmania, but the newest Trackmania is like a free to play esports thing that I cannot get into. So that's
I mean,
kind
I
of
feel
lost
like
on me.
most people have just stuck with the original Trackmania, from what I know.
Yeah, most people play Trackmania Nations, which was also a free to play game, primarily made for esports events, but that is, simpler and not as bloated as the modern active one. So there was always this kind of tendency to go with these not as interesting Trackmania games, honestly, in my opinion. Trackmania 2 Canyon or Trackmania United Forever. That's the two best Trackmania games. Period.
Alright.
Leah, I don't think you said your piece on track editors yet.
Yeah, I
Do you
mean,
care?
when I was younger, I probably would have cared a lot more about them
Yeah.
just because anytime that you let me customize anything, I was ready to go. But nowadays, like I have so little time to play games that I don't want to spend the time dealing with, customizing or whatever. And most of the time, if there is a game that has like those customization things, like even like Little Big Planet, it like takes over my brain where I'm like, oh, I have to put this in the
No.
level and I have to
Yeah.
do this in the level and oh, I need to and like I start making notes and everything and I'm like, I don't have that time now. So
Yeah.
I can't even like fathom dealing with having like a track editor because then I want to make like the ultimate track and that's not going to be
Yeah, that's a
not
good point.
possible. But
That's
I
yeah.
do think that it would be cool if there was something like that for like Mario Kart because Mario Kart has a lot of
Yeah.
wild like sections of tracks for you to use like which is the other reason why I want to play that Hot Wheels game because I feel like that is probably closer to what I want anyway where it's
Huh.
just sort of that or even that train game that you've been playing like just to like be able to sit there and like do the track and be like this is great I love this
Yeah, yeah.
instead of just like having a full campaign to do would be cool.
The Hot Wheels game, I don't think that lets you build in any way. That's all pre-made stuff.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean,
Just
I would love a
yeah,
Mario Kart track editor personally. I think you could do some pretty cool stuff with it.
sure.
Which also gave me the idea, imagine a kart racer with a power-up editor. And you can make your own power-ups.
Yeah, that could be interesting, although that would be
That
weird to
I would
balance.
love
It's
that
almost
shit.
certainly a coding nightmare, is the thing.
Yeah, maybe.
But it'd be cool.
I mean, it could probably be something like with the early Lego games where you could customize your minifigs. Just where like you have like the icon for the power up, like probably like a slider for how powerful it is, what it does, whatever. And then then it saves that as a object in the game, an item in the game.
Yeah, I think the problem would be how to balance that, so that not everybody just
Yeah,
does
I
the
don't think
same overpowered thing or
that they
whatever.
would use it in the
Yeah.
campaign or
Oh,
whatever, just probably like for like multiplayer or like
sure.
not
Yeah.
online stuff, just like local multiplayer Loki.
Imagine playing Lego Racers online. What a wild thought. We're coming pretty close to the end of our discussion about racing games. So there are some obvious questions that we are probably gonna wrap up with. One of which is just generally, what is the best and worst racing game we've ever played? Can we nail this to one title each?
I
That would be
can.
impressive. Okay.
I would enjoy saying more. Best NASCAR Thunder 2003. It's possible that if I play more NASCAR 2004, it'll overtake it, but NASCAR Thunder 2003. Worst, probably the Game Boy Color version of Lego Stunt Rally.
Yeah, that checks out for sure.
Although, I gotta ask, has anyone ever heard or played of a game called Carnage Rally?
No.
What? Carnage? Carnage?
Carnage, Karnaaj.
Oh yeah, I think I have that on my backlog. It's like the desert rally game.
It's a GBA rally game
Oh,
that's mostly
okay.
known for
Never
having
mind.
like this bad and horrible cover. I think I got it from GameStop for like $2 or something because I was poor and I had $2 left over, and sure, why not? Game sucked ass.
Is it the one with the screaming heads on the cover?
Streaming guy,
Yeah,
the streaming dude with blue hair.
I think I've seen it. Yeah. Yeah, that shit. Fucking hell.
It lives
that-
up to its cover.
So that's quality, you're saying? Okay.
Yeah, quality.
Shit. What did I say? One title. Goddamn.
Probably for me, branded games. Branded racing games tend to be not great. Like they had a racing game specifically for the Prius / the Yaris, and that was a wild choice that they even bothered with that because it's not a fast car.
No. Yeah. But what is your favorite racing game, and what is the worst you've ever played? Actually, like if I'm
I don't know if I have.
I mean, picking one favorite is nonsense anyway, especially since we just read it on about all these different subgenres.
Yeah,
But I
that's
think
true.
if
I
I
mean, I'm
had
happy to go past one. But
no. If I had a gun to my head, like I have in real life right now, listeners can't see it, but it is the truth. If I had a gun to my head and had to pick
if
one
you're
game,
wondering, on the side of the gun, Cars 3 is engraved on it.
yeah, exactly. But I will say I would probably right now in this moment say Redout, because that was one of the most polished, most impressive, more recent anti-grav racers that really had an impact on me. That is definitely high up there.
Alright.
And the worst is easy as fuck. Eminem's kart racing on Nintendo DS is a miserable fucking game that just made me sad and sick.
Yeah.
That shit sucked.
It's on my backlog.
Yeah, my condolences, dog.
Yeah, but what about the Wii version? You think it's as bad?
I heard it's better, but I'm not gonna dare to try.
I will quickly say it's not a favorite or a least favorite, but I just want to shout out Beetle Adventure Racing for
Yeah.
having cool vibes, just being fun. Lots of secrets.
I prefer if it was a real
always-
beetle.
I always thought it was weird that the game was rebranded in Australia.
Is it a different car brand there?
HSV Adventure Racing.
Odd. Yeah, must be a rights thing, right?
Yeah, I think it's just like the local version of a Beetle, basically.
Hmm.
And number 2 on my list was Ridge Racer Type 4. I just want to note
Yeah,
since we're
of
doing the
course.
month.
But Leah, what are your
Yeah, I
your
don't
But
know.
yeah,
picks?
I
Leah.
feel like maybe Need for Speed Underground, probably
Damn.
because I played it the most when I had it. Um, but I can't think of anything that I consider like my ultimate favorite game because it's also not a genre that I play that often. And
Yeah.
and most of the games that I play that I enjoyed, the franchises are over. So like it's not like something I can like be like, can't wait for the next
Uh,
one. No, it's not happening. Um
Yeah.
so yeah,
Perhaps it's
like I
just
mean,
still out
again,
there.
Burnout was my
Maybe.
favorite. I would be really thrilled to have another Burnout. Probably Burnout 3 was good. Yeah, and maybe Need for Speed, Twisted Metal, Black was a good one. I enjoyed that one too. Yeah, but I
hmm.
haven't really focused on them in like 20 years. Worst one probably, I don't know. I mean, all the ones on NES because they didn't really pull me in the
Right.
first place. So that's probably why I never continued on.
Yeah, that's a rough
Oh,
platform
you
for
know,
racing.
did we mention Cruising USA and all those games? Because like
Not yet,
those
no.
like
No?
those arcade ones are like my favorite thing. Like every time I go to an arcade, I have to play one of those at least once.
There's this one cruise in USA that's an arcade cabinet and now also on Switch and no other platforms. And I am a bit jealous of that because it looks really cool. I don't remember what it was called.
Kiss Switch 2.
I will not. I will not line the pockets of those Nintendo hacks. Never. Um. Okay. Oh yeah. Quick question. I don't even know if you have an answer for this one, but like, I would like to quickly here shout out to like some strange racing games. Oftentimes, racing games stick to their tried and true formula, but it is
Yeah.
interesting if they like try and maybe fail to do something weird or whatever.
There's Big Rids Over the Road Racing.
I don't think they tried. They just failed straight up.
They didn't try. They just. I can't argue with that. They didn't try. They just failed. Um, I played the GBA Crazy Taxi game, and that's kind of honestly like a funky one, and just trying to translate the Crazy Taxi formula into like
Right, yeah.
a pseudo 3D Game Boy Advance game. It's definitely funky.
God, I can't.
The weird ones to me are when they try to give characters that don't really need kart racing games. Like they had one for like Jack and Daxter, and I don't remember
Oh yeah.
that anybody was like excited or needed that, but that happened.
Yeah.
Little Big Planet, they had a racing game for that one too, and that one seemed like it could have been cooler considering that like Little Big Planet had like the whole like customization thing, but like I don't remember anybody mentioning that as being like that was probably like towards the beginning of the downfall of Little Big Planet.
Hmm.
Um yeah, all the M&M's ones are very strange.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Um
I guess that's not really a. Does this count as like Wheels of Aurelia was like a visual novel racing game kind of thing, but I was pretty disappointed in that one.
Yeah, wasn't that pretty well liked by people?
It is. Abatage, I think, has a glowing review on it
Oh
on how
yeah.
long to beat, for example. So, I'm not necessarily, I mean, it depends on where you go to. I don't know. I just felt like the driving didn't feel good for one thing, but the story just kind of felt not that interesting despite the good premise.
Right.
I guess the best way to put it. Uh,
I think one of the
Dreams.
strangest games that I have on my mind is this PlayStation 1 game called Bug Riders, where you are genuinely, I don't know, little fantasy people on bugs and like racing on them. And it just
Hey, now,
looks
you gotta give the full title Bug Riders The Race of Kings.
the race of kings. Yeah, I guess so. It's on my backlog, so I can actually say anything about the quality of this marvelous game, but I've often looked at screenshots and it looks very, I don't know, kind of gnarly. I don't know, something about it is strange. So
Yeah.
let's.
Well, doesn't seem like people think too fondly of it, but I'm
Yeah,
adding it to my wish list anyway.
I'm not surprised, to be honest. Yeah, but other than that, like the strangest games, I feel like the strangest racing games. I feel like I already talked about in previous episodes, which would be like inertial drift with the double joystick steering mechanics and shady loot card, the card racing game based on not safe for
yeah.
work video game characters and whatnot.
Yeah.
I think those are pretty
The
much.
first known
That's
kart
not racer
racer
I
that
care
will
Yeah.
about.
just suck your dick.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Different kind of oil change.
I guess. Oh my god. Jesus
Oh
fucking
god.
Christ. The last question that we got on the docket would be like, what were some formative early ones that actually put us onto the racing genre? What made us
Diddy Kong
into
Racing.
this?
No.
That would be a shocking one.
Now Diddy Kong has returned.
For me, it definitely the earliest racing games that actually put me in there was like, of course, F-Zero on Super Nintendo, as I've plenty of times talked about, and Lego Racers 2, and this 3D Ultra Radio Control Racers bullshit that I talked about.
Pole
But
position.
my very first
Oh, I played
PC
Pole Position.
game that I ever owned was literally Driver. And I never like actually got far in the story, but I did do a lot of uh bullshit in the free drive mode, and it was also definitely a big part of what made me interested in I don't know, driving in video games, racing games, and Trackmania, of course. I already pretty much mentioned my formative ones in previous segments.
I have two, but it
Yeah.
bears repeating. Lego Racers, literally the first video game I ever had.
Oh,
So,
rare.
for other formative ones, F-Zero X, because I had Nintendo 64 as my first console. That was a major racing game.
Mm.
NASCAR Thunder 2003. I would say that's a big one. You know, I've put probably at least 1,000 hours into that game, so I think it's obvious. Everything. Mario Kart Double Dash. I played that a lot.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I guess the original Mario Kart I played a lot back on Super Nintendo. So that also probably is up there.
Yeah. Yeah, true. I played a lot of that too.
Honestly, probably F1 World Grand Prix. Because I played that game a lot as a kid. It was really
Man,
enjoyable.
you
Because
played Lego Racers 1, I played Lego Racers 2. You played F1, I played F-Zero. You get on my level.
but hey, what's larger, F-Zero or F1? Checkmate.
What's faster? F-Zero, F1. Checkmate.
God,
Which
the
has
math does
wheels.
check out.
Hell yeah.
Like the funny thing is that game has like multiple save files. I made multiple save files just to redo the challenges, even though you can just already select the challenges from the menu without needing to make a new save file.
Oh my god.
So,
Well, you gotta make sure, of course.
oh, and honestly, Ridge Racer 64 was quite good. It was a game that honestly frustrated the fuck out of me as a kid and got me really angry, but it was also oddly enjoyable at the same time.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say Ridge Racer Type 4 I consider not formidable but highly influential, because I think playing and enjoying that game, I've played like 8 racing games afterwards, because I immediately was just like, man, I forgot how good a good like arcade racer can be. I gotta check out more of this shit.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I think the only one that I would like to mention real quick for me would be Flat Out 2, which has I think Flat Out 2 is still pretty much sang high by fans as like a great old racing game. And the developers went on to make Wreckfest nowadays, so they are still going strong. But yeah, Flat Out 2 was a very memorable racing game that I want to revisit actually, hopefully soon.
Good.
Yeah. Are we ready to move on into our collection game? The Untitled one.
Yes.
I am.
Yeah, let's go. Roy, you're the host.
Ready to guess some games.
Ready to guess
All right.
some games indeed. Or not. I am probably gonna
Time
fail
for
again.
the Doodaloo Untitled collection game. The collection game that doesn't have a title, even though it does.
Yep.
I, as a previous winner, where I went on a bit of a rampage last time, I'd even say, if I do say so myself, not
Yeah.
as much as the first time, Diablo 2. I'm going to be the one to pick a random collection on the How Long to Beat website using the random button on How Long to Beat. Collection needs to have at least 10 games. I'm going to give people the title, who made it, and how many games are on it. If a host doesn't like it, then they can veto it, but only once per host. And then I'll just do a new random one. There's power-ups, but I'm not even going to mention them until they come up because they have happened once. And who knows, you can get excitement. I do wonder someday, though, if the negative veto will ever be used if somebody gets something they really think they're going to dominate.
I feel like that's one of the most useful power-ups we got on our list, honestly.
It's so expensive, though.
Yeah.
You gotta get at least 3 games and win to even make a profit.
Yeah. Well.
Alright. Anyway, every time they correctly guess a game, they get a point. Game ends when a host makes 3 wrong guesses or when every game has been guessed, but I'm not gonna shock you, it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
And whoever gets the most games gets a 3 bonus points, and they get the host next time. And if nobody gets a game, they just all suck, I do it again.
True.
Alright, so, are we ready?
Yes.
Yes.
And let me get the... Sick! It said no results found, try a new search. Oh, I had something in the search bar.
Oh. Were you looking for Ridge
Alright,
Racer
well,
again?
no, I was looking at Wipeout.
Oh, that's good.
Alright, so I've got Castlevania Franchise Quest by Garthel. 22 games.
Castlevania title? Okay.
Castlevania franchise quest it was, but I couldn't tell you
Yeah.
that many Castlevania titles.
I wouldn't.
So this is one where it'd be really easy if you know what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we gonna see a veto?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna do a video, yeah.
Alright. Let's go again. 2013 ranked by left-handed Matt. It's the evil Matt brother. 15 games.
What the fuck? 20
Never told you had a brother, Matt.
I didn't know either. 2013.
Ranked. And it's 15 games.
Good lord.
Oh god.
Nothing.
I'm just gonna make a suggestion as a host. Please veto this.
Well, it's in Leah's hands.
Yeah, I'll veto it.
Yeah. Just so you know, I could already tell you guys weren't gonna get it. It's like Rocksmith All New 2014 edition. Shadowrun Returns. The Jack King, the Fire Within.
At least I know Rocksmith.
Yeah, but would you have guessed?
No.
Alright, we got a big one here. We've got The Main Backlog by Berg. 216 games.
A bird.
Berg.
Oh, Berg.
B-E-R-G.
216.
He doesn't have an avatar.
Okay. Yeah. Leah makes the first guess.
Sure, why not? Where do you go on The Big Main Backlog?
What does Berg wanna play?
Uh,
Or
Is it
not want to
crapshoot?
play, apparently, because on their backlog, not play.
I need a shuffle button in my brain.
Yeah, just anything, yeah.
We all wish we had one of those.
RC Pro-Am on the Game Boy. There's your shuffle button.
Cyberpunk 2077.
Alright, let's see. It's on here.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
kind of suspecting this might be a way. I'm kind of suspecting people might rack up points just because of the sheer volume of games on here.
Yeah, that's true.
Wouldn't that be nice? I'm gonna say The Last of Us.
It's debatable, but I'm gonna count it because it's The Last of Us Part 1, the like remake thing. So I think that counts. So I'm gonna say that
Very
counts.
gracious of you.
Yeah.
I'm not required you to say Part 1 when we all know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people could really rack up points on this one.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Alright. Once it loads. No.
Uh-oh. Maybe Burke is still on the GTA shit. How about Grand Theft Auto 5?
Alright. Once it loads.
So, who really has that on the backlog? I feel like people just buy and play it or not at all.
I'm just gonna look at it manually. I think when it doesn't load, it just means the game's not there.
I don't think so. I think it's just
I'm checking. Don't worry.
blocked. Yeah.
No.
Crazy. Dang.
Dishonored.
Oh gosh.
Dishonored, alright. Yeah, Dishonored Definitive Edition.
Oh, what the
That's
fuck? Huh. Fucking God of War. The recent one that is only God of War in the title.
No.
God damn it, dog. What's Burke been playing?
You'll know why I'm laughing.
Oh gosh.
Control.
It's on there.
Oh,
I already know because it was the first thing he had on it on the list.
Fucking. God damn it, dog. One more mistake and I'm out. What about so what are video games?
That's a good question. What are
video games?
games?
What are video games?
Fucking hell. How? What is that thing called? What is it?
That
What's
one.
that?
Yes.
What's that?
Use your words to describe what you're talking about.
Uncharted 2.
Uncharted 2 specifically. Is that what you're
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
Alright, you're out.
Oh my fucking god, dog.
Damn.
I don't know
I'm
how.
gonna follow
honestly.
that. Okay. Dying Light 2.
Dying Light 2. Alright.
There's no way. Come on.
No.
There we go. Okay. Oh, you still have a more shot.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
I hope people have noticed the pattern that is going on with the ones that have been missed. 'Cause
I
there's a very
haven't.
clear pattern.
Yeah.
I'll say afterwards because I don't want to influence Leah.
Yeah, but like usual, I'm not listening to that pattern.
Smart. Diddy Kong Racing.
what
Have you
is
tried that yet?
another-
I haven't tried Diddy Kong Racing yet.
I bet it's on
What are games? That is a good question.
there. Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
I've
dog.
never heard of a game ever in my life. Don't know.
I don't think they exist. I think they're a lie.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if people just walk in and think this list is full of just like the ability to run the table.
Yeah. I mean, if you know, it's easy.
Okay.
That's not even what I mean.
Maybe there's every single Final Fantasy on there, and we just have to list them by number.
Oh, that's an
Oh,
idea.
actually, that might have been a decent.
No.
Okay.
I am going to say
Tick tick.
Use a power up.
now Sniper Elite 4.
Sniper Elite 4.
Just randomly.
That's not looking good. Yeah, every time I search and it doesn't show like it's loading, it never is actually on the list. I think that just means it's just not on the list.
Yeah.
Last time I did it, I didn't get a result on anything, even if the game was on the list.
But on mine,
Just-
as soon as I hit something that does, it just works. No, I just checked through S. Sniper Elite 2 is not on here. Leah's still getting 3.
4.
So, what's it 4? I thought it was 3.
Sniper Elite
I
4.
think that was 3.
Oh, none of the Sniper Elites are on there.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, okay.
So here's what I was saying was the pattern, also why it was unfortunate for you, Matt. God of War, the original, was on here.
Fucking hell, Burg.
Then Uncharted Lost Legacy was on here.
I was gonna say Lost Legacy.
I don't-
The
Red
moment
Dead
I was like,
Redemption, Red Dead Redemption 1 is on here. And
Goodness
Dying Light
gracious.
1 is on here. He just has like the starting
Wow.
games for all the franchise. And the reason I
Yeah.
said people could run the table, he just has like every major game and indie game. Like A Hat in Time, Baldur's Gate 3, Batman Arkham Asylum, Bayonetta,
Fuck. Yeah,
Bioshock.
yeah.
You
Well,
know, all like just like if you just like even like Return of the Obra Dinn, if you just went for anything that like Sekiro that was like major, you probably hit. He does also have Soda Drinker Pro though.
all I had on my mind were racing games, and I'm pretty positive those were not like big hits on
You
those
didn't even
on
get
that
a
list.
single racing game.
I was gonna.
Yeah, I
I
don't-
was thinking the Call of Duties also.
Yeah, that would
I
probably
think
be
there
in
was
there
some
somewhere.
on. The real difficulty with that one is getting the right Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's why I
Yeah.
didn't even try. Not like last time where I fucking
Because there is
Fail.
That's why you didn't try.
there's Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare and Call of Duty Black Ops. So
yeah, I
there were
wouldn't
2
have
Call
guessed
of
any
Duty
of them.
Oh.
There's like Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Chrono Trigger, Celeste, Banjo-Kazooie, Cuphead, Dark Souls,
Damn,
every Dead
okay.
Space game, Disco Elysium.
I was just like
Donkey
thinking
Kong Country.
this person likes clearly character-based action games, and that was all I was trying to
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
That was working out
No,
for
the
me.
reality is that he's a mainstream.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, enough indie games to not like be loser consumer in mainstream. Like that's some,
Exactly, he's just mainstream.
Yeah.
He's like,
Burg, you got a fantastic backlog. You should play Celeste. You're good.
I mean, he does have a lot of really good games on there, to be clear.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's time to wrap this up. Let's race to the finish line.
Yeah.
This was
Before we go, real quick.
Oh yeah.
Leah got 6 points, 3 for guessing, 3 for winning, and Matt gets his lonely 1 point.
At least there's
Leah
some
will be
progress
doing
for me.
the job. Yeah, getting some. Eventually, there's going to be like an itch.io collection, and Matt's just going to
Yeah.
run the table.
I don't know if that's
Yeah.
happening.
And then you'll have to negate a veto so a host doesn't veto it away from you.
Yeah.
Anyway, that has been the episode for today.
Yep.
We hope that you did not race through the podcast and miss our epic discussion. So, you can tell us about your racing games. Do you prefer a cockpit view like a pleb, or do you prefer the outstretched view? Do you have a thick manual transmission with a stick for the most realistic racing experience? Or do you just play Ridge Racer every day? Who knows?
Yeah.
Either way, let us know about your opinions on the topic. If you think Matt will ever have a collection game that goes his way,
No.
and anything else on your mind.
Exactly.
Bye.
Damn.
Bye-bye.
Bye.